97.5 The Game app.
Good morning, early game crew. It's a chilly Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, right?
Yes, it is. I did have to lay in the bed and think about that this morning, but it is Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. I had to double check. Won't be the first time I've said the wrong day on here before. But it's the early game. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Preston Thorne. She is Jen Jensen. And before we get to the pro day stuff, because there are a few Gamecocks that were flexing yesterday over at the football facility, including one Brandon Cisse, who rumors have it we're in like a 4-3.
Got to do it.
Them's the rumors. Them's the word on the street. There was a baseball game that happened last night. A really tough loss. An absolute bummer.
There wasn't a game in Columbia, was there? No, there really wasn't.
There wasn't. You thought you had the game won. You make a comeback. What, the eighth inning? Best player pulls through for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eugenio Suarez hits you below the belt. Team USA loses.
World Series Classic, World Baseball Classic. Awesome.
Ruled.
Really cool baseball night last night.
Yes.
That's
the way baseball should be.
Really cool baseball night in other parts of the country.
Yeah, maybe not here.
Probably not here.
Let
me go stronger. Definitely not here.
Absolutely not here. But I guess it's one of those things too. If a tree falls in the woods, no one's around to hear it. Does it make a noise?
Oh, it made a noise.
It made a noise without many people hearing it because that ballpark was empty. Pretty damning picture if you've seen it.
And that makes me it makes me sad. It really does, because that's not Founders Park. And that's not the program.
No, it was a concrete structure with a baseball diamond in the middle of it, in which gentlemen were playing baseball, and that was it.
Yeah. That's it's a chicken or the egg thing, all right? Is it empty because they're not playing, or they're not playing because it's empty? I would say that it's empty because they're not playing well.
Yes. Wait, now, was it a little chillier yesterday? Yeah, sure. But you know what? It could have been, I think, 85 and sunny, and I don't know how many people have been at that park.
And they had a perfect opportunity because it was Bark at the Park Day.
Oh.
That never loses. It never does. That's a surefire hit.
The Bark at the Park's the best.
That is a hit. I remember when the Seattle Mariners had Bark at the Park, and they had somebody over the PA hit a doorbell sound.
No.
Crowd went wild.
Oh! I bet the crowd went bananas.
Crowd went wild. Surefire hit.
Now what they should do is right before the opposing team comes up to bat, just ding dong, collective freak
Outstanding.
out. Or just have somebody dressed up as a mailman walk around the outfield with a package in hand.
That'd be great.
Or over a speaker, rattle like a cheese wrapper, that plastic sound.
Or have just the PA guy go, anybody want a treat?
WALK?
Yeah, you can spell now? When did this happen? When'd you get old enough to learn how to spell?
They're like, we figured it out.
I'm always listening.
Yeah, always listening. Just like, whatever smart device you have, your dog's always listening.
For sure. Yes, that is 1,000%. You cannot sneak anything by them. My dog, shout out to Riley, has a library of sounds of which she is automatically responsive to. Obviously, doorbell, rappers, anything hitting the floor anywhere.
Anything hitting the floor, it's potentially food.
But she can't hear you say, come here.
Oh, no. Yeah, exactly. Very selective hearing.
Yes.
Come in. Treat? I hear you.
Oh, you can say that a mile away. Riley's perking your ears up.
Yeah. In fact, right now, you just said that. She's like, wait, what?
Somewhere, somehow. I heard it.
But we will readdress the baseball game
Obviously.
later on in the program.
But do you want to do that at 6:05 in the morning?
Too early for that.
I think this is a good part to saying that we love everybody coming in early. We appreciate you.
Yes.
We're here to bring joy over the airwaves. We will talk about the obvious because we also not here to run because we're not scared.
Oh, yeah.
But we are here to enjoy the mornings. Because
Right.
who wants to be in here talking doom and gloom when it's already there?
We'll
We
get
get
mad.
that.
We'll get mad later
Yeah.
over how Team USA didn't close it out last night.
Exactly.
Another World Baseball Classic final loss. It's 2 straight times. Different opponent. 2 straight times. It's a real bummer, man. But when it came to Pro Day yesterday, a couple of guys showed out. But I think really the big thing when it comes to Pro Day is you're in a friendly environment. You're able to have one-on-one time with teams maybe a little more informally at these events because you have a lot of NFL scouts that end up showing up. Coaches there, so Coach Beamer gets to talk to these teams too. Like, it's a much more advantageous situation than something like the Combine would be. But it makes me kind of pose a larger question too in terms of Brandon Cisse of running a 4.3 this Pro Day make him more likely to be a first-round pick. I don't know. But he is looked at in some mock drafts, and now it's not a lot of them, so it's not like a consensus that he's going to be a first-rounder. But there are some mock drafts that have him at the tail end of the first round.
So it's really important. There's a couple of different lines that you have to hit for Pro Day depending on your position, and 4.3 is one of them for DB. Now, what does that 4.3 mean? That could be 4.39.
But it's in the
But it's 4.3. It could be 4.39999. And we know the rules of rounding is to go up to 4.4, but that's not really how it works in the NFL because if you hit that 4.3 number, you get to claim all of it. So that 4.3 number for a DB is very important. It says that he ran, and it says the rumors are it's 4.3-ish towards the top end. But it's just an idea that when somebody, especially some exec who's not necessarily locked in, if he's looking around, if you want to pitch this guy to the owner or not the GM, but the owner or the brass or a board, hey, we're going to take Brandon Cisse, 4.3. And people are like, okay, I'll do it. Now,
that almost immediately for some scouts puts them
so that's
right
one.
on the radar.
Another number that you want to look for is in linemen. There's 2 of them, defense linemen specifically, over plus 300, cracking 5 flat. And Nate Barrett got very close. I think he hit a 5.01. That one's a little bit more concrete. If you're a defensive lineman and you have plus 300 and you crack that 5, if you run a 4.9, you're in the ball game. And so, yes, the Pro Day is extremely important for you to get a better number on the board, for you to, like you said, talk to NFL representatives in your place. It's a lot less nerve-wracking. Your friends are there. Your coaches are there. Your strength coach is there, the person who stretches you out. It's just a lot better environment for performance for multi players. So what you'll see around the country is the numbers tend to be a lot better just because you're in a better environment.
Yes, you're in friendlier confines at the Scouting Combine. Now, looking at a couple of mock drafts, obviously Tankathon's one of my favorites. They have him going to Seattle at 32.
That'd be
Brandon
cool.
Cisse. Would be really cool. You have Brandon Cisse and Nick Emenwari on the same team. Even though they didn't get to be on the same team in college, but they would in the pros, which would be pretty cool. 2 Gamecocks.
2 South Carolinians.
2 native South Carolinians. And then when you would keep the former Gamecock angle, Ernest Jones still there too.
Mm-hmm.
That would essentially be 3 Gamecocks in the starting lineup. And none of them played on the same Gamecock team.
Ooh, that's a nice piece of trivia. That's interesting.
Which is always a good sign of your program. And then Mel Kiper has the Kansas City Chiefs with the pick that they're getting from Los Angeles, taking Brandon Cisse at 29 to be the Trent McDuffie replacement.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of what the Chiefs do on defense. Hey, you making a lot of money. We got Steve Spags. Spags will draw it up.
I think that's probably why they made that trade was, okay, McDuffie's really good, but we feel like we can replace him. And the scheme is good enough to continuously dupe opposing quarterbacks. That's kind of their whole thing, is just being able to dupe the opposing quarterback, and Steve Spagnuolo has proven time after time that he can certainly do that. But another player, too, had a solid day yesterday that I think could be one of the steals of the draft for somebody, because his stock took a little bit of a hit because maybe he didn't have the year he wanted last year, was a little banged up, had the hamstring thing in the first game of the season, and those injuries are such a pain in the rear, pun slightly intended. It's close, but not quite geographically the same as a pain in the rear. But Jalen Kilgore, probably going to be looked at maybe late third, early fourth type of guy. I think you get into steal territory right there, because I still think Jalen Kilgore has a lot of the tools that are needed to be a really good defensive back in the NFL. And I think he's still closer to the guy who led the SEC in interceptions in 24 than what you saw in 2025, which was still good. I mean, I didn't have any problem with how Jalen Kilgore played this past season. Really, any of the guys on defense, I think defensively, that's not the reason the team went 4-8. But I think because of the injury issue last year, maybe he didn't perform up to what he did in 24, and that might have been the reason his stock took a little bit of a hit. But if a team wants to buy low on Jalen Kilgore, I think they're in a really good spot to do so.
Yeah, and this is another really interesting example, because a lot of times you'll see guys that are coming off of unnecessarily a slump-tight season with eligibility left. They might come back. But I think Jalen decided, hey, I want to be an NFL guy. I'm going to get drafted somewhere. Let's go ahead and go do this now. I don't have to necessarily, and this is where maybe NIL comes in a little bit, I don't necessarily have to worry about making all my money on the front end because I'm taken care of. Mm-hmm. So let me just get into the NFL and move forward with that process here. And like you said, a team might really get a steal where you're looking up in, because he's a late round, you're looking up in 4 years. They're going to get him locked down for 4 years. And he's like, oh, man, he did what? He's about to sign a how much contract?
It happens so frequently.
You can see that happen. And plus the NFL, the bulk of rosters are made of third, fourth, fifth round guys. Mm-hmm. So it's not like an albatross if you get drafted at that point, because that's what the NFL is made of.
I love draft theory, especially in the NFL, because you have so many more rounds than you would in the NBA and of course Major League Baseball. You have maybe not as many as you used to, but there's still a ton of rounds in that draft. You draft a lot of players that sometimes the best value are the guys that because anybody can look, watch college football on Saturdays and see somebody really show out and be like, oh, that's clearly a first-round pick, a first-round talent. Almost anybody can do that. But if you have, a third-round grade on somebody and they fall to you in the fourth and they maybe surpass what your evaluation was, that's where, a lot of the value is. That's where you end up getting, all-pro guys at a premium, especially on their rookie deal where it's nowhere near the same rookie pay scale as the first-round guys. Jalen Kilgore can maybe fit in that category for a team just because his stock is just a little lower than what it would have been last year if he was eligible to go in. Mm-hmm. I find that stuff to be so interesting. I think somebody's going to get a winner there with Jalen Kilgore. But coming up next, though, Clayton White spoke earlier this week. It's the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, for those who don't know. And he talked a lot about different players. And there's so many things in this defense that you can discuss going into the spring. But the two that I'm most intrigued with are a pair of freshmen that can be day one impact guys. And they're two fellows that we are very familiar with here in the state of South Carolina. We'll tell you who that is, and we'll hear from Clayton about his thoughts about those players coming up next here on the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Friday, April 3rd, the Spring Golf Classic at Charwood in West Columbia with our buddies Rock and Daniel Lucas. And we have Saki's Morning Libations Bar before tee-off. Also, the classic onion sausage presented by the Lexington Gamecock Club. Yeah, I know you're going to ask. We have the golf gun. All that Friday, April 3rd. Again, $400 a team, $100 for an individual. 803-755-2000 and press number 2. April 3rd, it's the Spring Golf Classic from the Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Hello, Average Amy's Coffee Corner. Our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Some things are meant to be together. Perfect pairs. The combos we all know and love. Like beaches and sand in your toes. A good book and the park. Or sleepy mornings and Mickey D's. It's undeniable. My personal favorite pair to help me start the day? The toasty $2.69 sausage McMuffin with egg paired with a $2 any size iced coffee. With 20 grams of protein in one sandwich and bold coffee to power my day, there's no doubt I'd call it the perfect McDonald's match. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
BOGO is back at iMart Express.
Come on. Okay.
Right now, for a limited time only, new customers can buy their first pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Plus, with eye exams available and same-day glasses, you'll never miss a moment. It's the kind of savings and service you can really get used to.
Okay.
Find a location near you at imartexpress.com to shop our BOGO event today and see everything we have in store for you. iMart Express. Get glasses. Go see.
Run the Cup, the Governor's Cup Road Race, sponsored by Lexington Health. Be part of history in downtown Columbia at one of the longest-running and most prestigious road races in the Southeast. The Half Marathon, 5K, and Main Street Mile are open for registration. Kids can run for free in the Kids Main Street Mile. And don't miss the post-race celebration with music, food, vendors, and a special awards ceremony. Join Lexington Health and register now for the Governor's Cup Road Race, April 10th and 11th. Learn more at runthecup.com.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Pretty decent start to your Wednesday morning. No accidents at this time. And weather-wise, we're going to start to warm up a little bit. 53 for the high today. Now, overnight lows still could be in the 30s. But then tomorrow's high, 65. Overnight lows in the 40s. By Friday, we are 74. And our overnight lows are back into like the 50s. So we welcome that. And dare I say, low 80s for the weekend. So looking forward to that, but you're starting off needing a jacket of some kind. 33 right now on 107.5 The Game.
The early Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Spring practice underway. One of the more fascinating elements of it is that there are a few players that you haven't seen in a Gamecock uniform yet that you're going to rely upon for some really important production in 2026. Now, two of those players on defense are new players, and not from the transfer portal. They're new players the old-fashioned way. Cruton, straight out of high school. And that would be former Dutch Fork legend, Julian Walker. And from South Point, Jazavian Currents.
You know what's funny? We could have said former Dutch Fork state champion, and you could have been talking about, I don't know, 500 kids.
I was going to say, that really narrows it down.
Actually, you could do the same thing for Jazavian, too. Former South Point state champion. Who are we talking about?
Stephon Gilmore.
All of them.
Yeah. Every single one of them. They were great. It's a machine. It's a powerhouse. And it's two powerhouses that produce really good football players. So even if that's all you knew about these two players, you're really excited about it. But if you watched or covered the sport of high school football in the state of South Carolina this past year, those were two names that you heard of pretty frequently because they pass the alien test.
I told you, I've been on this, and I've said this several times over the airwaves. 2 years ago, Julian Walker stole. Well, he didn't steal. He just decided that the state championship game against my beloved Green Wave was over. He's like, all right, that's enough.
He's one of those players. The game ends when he says
When he decided to end the game, he ended it. And that was 2 years ago, and I remember asking, like, who's that guy? And they were like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know.
It's one of those where it's like, oh, where's he going to play next year? High school. He's a sophomore. You're like, wait a minute.
That was exactly the conversation that we had.
Wait 1 minute. He's sophomore. Those are the players the best. Whenever you don't know who they are going into a high school football game, you watch when you're like, oh wow, assuming that's probably
where's he going?
Yeah, where's he going? Well, nowhere for a couple of years, and you're like, oh buddy, he is going to be a problem. And if you've seen any of the pictures or video of him in spring practice, in the clips that we're allowed to see, he looks like he could be a junior or senior in college already. He's got the build.
I will say this: he is graded on a curve because his father is an assistant strength coach, and so you would expect nothing less. Like I'm sure, I would imagine there's probably a lot of push-ups for punishment in his past. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, you didn't clean your room? Drop down and give me 30
wall squats.
For 5 minutes.
So I'm sure there's something along those lines. But yes, he is very physically. When a freshman, early enrollee, walks on the field, and you're still same question I asked when he was a sophomore in high school. I'm asking that he's a freshman in college. Who's that?
Who's that guy? He sticks out. Mm-hmm. He definitely sticks out, and that's certainly part of the entire alien test thing. For those who don't know, it's if a Martian just came to planet Earth and was plopped on a football field, and they have no idea how this game works, but you ask them to identify the best player. That guy.
Yeah, and it's really important to mention that you said he came through recruiting, and we get to Jazavian in a second. But, with Julian, his father is an assistant strength coach here, but that has nothing to do with his son's decision. His son wants to go where his son wants to go, and it's his life. And I thought that was really cool that there wasn't the conversation. He decided to go to Michigan. I don't know if you kept up with the news, but some things. A butterfly flapped his wings several times in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, some not-so-chill things happened in Ann Arbor.
That reopened his recruitment, and here we are.
And got a pretty nice landing spot to come here, and that's a win for Gamecock football and a win for Clayton White and the coaching staff. Want to get to this? We cut 21 from yesterday, Jen, because Clayton White talked about it and about the impact of Julian Walker and Jazavian Currents and how they've looked already so far in their first ever spring practice with South Carolina. And here's what he had to say.
Yes, two different positions, two different dudes. Obviously, really great statures, great frames. You guys had Julian. He went viral, didn't he? So I couldn't open my phone out, seeing a picture of Julian Walker. But nah, he's a great kid. He's learning everything. Coach Barnes, that's a great fit with those two. from a development standpoint, and just personality matches. I think that's strong always if you can get that personality match. I love what I've seen. Like, he sets the edge and he understands what a defensive end is supposed to do in regards of setting the edge and, you know, when to play the quarterback, when to play the dive, and when to rush and when to contain. So I think that's good that when some of those steps are already skipped. So now you can kind of get to, as Coach Gray would say, instead of ABC, you got to get your DEFs. So in XYZs. So we can kind of go DEF right now with both of those guys because they got the ABCs down, which that's part of recruiting and understanding what you're getting. If you have to start at A at this level, you're probably going to be behind. So we like those guys where we can start on the middle of the alphabet.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like how I went from even like the DES to now the middle of the alphabet, right? Makes you feel a little bit better about the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
But A also is a testament to the high school programs they play at.
Of course.
And how far along they can get you in your development. But I like these guys, too, for like a multitude of reasons. Like with Julian, you heard Clayton White talk about he already knows how to set the edge. He can already do all these type of things that if you get somebody who is just a really good athlete but maybe a little raw, there are some things you need to tweak and maybe some things about the position that need to be learned, right? Like take Nick Harbor, for example. Like when he came here, never played the wide receiver position before, but was an incredible athlete. Some things he had to learn before he was relied upon to take meaningful snaps on the football field. And then the development started coming later. Now we know exactly the type of skill set that Nick Harbor has. But with Julian Walker, with this position, he's already coming in and he's already doing a lot of the things that normally you have to teach freshmen to do, or at least get them to be better at. And then with Jazavian Currents, too, his experience playing all over the football field and just being an all-around football player, I almost even like tagging a position to Jazavian Currents because he is a football player, and you saw that with having to take over the quarterback position for South Point and full-time, both ways duty here, and end up being the best player on the football field in every single game he played in.
Yeah, and I think I've said it before. I highly value people that win. Especially if when you're in an impact position like defensive end. As I told you, Julian Walker ended the Somerville Greenways host 2 years ago and last year also. Thanks. Shout out to the GOAT. But Jazavian, and I would have to stress this. This dude, highly recruited DB, will go anywhere he wants to go in the country, makes an early commitment to South Carolina, sticks with that commitment, and then along the way his team says, hey, man, we need you to play quarterback. A lot of people around the country are going to be like, I got this whole DB thing going here at South Carolina. He didn't make that decision.
He said, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I go, wins the state championship with that team. I think that speaks volumes for who he is as a football player. And I think that type of attitude and leadership, along with the physical traits that he has, because we're not talking about some guy that can't do it, right?
Right. It wasn't the water boy on the bench. This isn't Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, this is a guy who already has all the physical characteristics. You add those things together, and I think that is a great future-looking sign for him, for the defense.
Oh, for sure. Especially, it makes you feel better that they can come in and be impactful right away. And when you recruit freshmen now, more so now than maybe how it used to be, where you use the transfer portal to maybe allow some of your freshmen to develop a little bit before they end up getting meaningful snaps. These two can probably get meaningful snaps. And for Jazavian Currents, even if it's not defensive back because you're really well set at that position, he is a football player. You can find a place on the field or a scenario where you can use him. And with Julian Walker, we talked about, trying to find that opposite edge rusher to Dylan Stewart in the transfer portal, and they attempted to do that. That's one of the reasons they brought Caleb Herring in. But at the same time, maybe Caleb Herring's best competition is going to be a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how, again, like with what Clayton White laid out, he's already well set in a lot of the really fundamental things. But coming up next, though, Jazavian Currents is going to be part of a really good secondary, and you're going to have to really replace a couple of impact players like Brandon Cisse, Jalen Kilgore, DQ Smith, guys who were good, and a couple of those guys who are here for a while. Who can step up and replace those guys? Well, Clayton talked about that too earlier this week, and we'll hear what Clayton had to say, and we will give our assessment of the secondary coming up next here in the early game.
All my sports! The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Walk with 107.5 The Game on the American Heart Association Heart Walk, March 28th at Segra Park. Our goal is to raise $2,500 for the American Heart Association. Be a Heart Walk hero and please help. Go to 1075thegame.com to join in with us.
Man, a day like today where it is cold outside, I want to say the high is going to be like in the 50s. Going to be a little chillier today, but it's a perfect day to go to Pro Swing and be able to get your golf swings in and be able to work on your golf game a little bit too. 803-592-3916 is the number. You can also book online at proswingcolumbia.com where you can find out more about the Golf Zone simulators that you can rent by the hour and the memberships that are available to Pro Swing. And those Golf Zone simulators, let me tell you, it's so much fun. A lot of different game modes, over 300 plus courses to choose from. You name it, you can play it over at Pro Swing. And of course, you can get a free 30-minute swing evaluation. I love telling you about the free stuff you can get places. You can get a free 30-minute swing evaluation over at Pro Swing to get a couple of pointers and drills to work on and be able to improve your golf game. And then if you want to take that farther, you can get lesson packages that are available for kids, adults, anyone. Again, 803-592-3916 for more info.
.com. All your business apps in one place. Your business deserves tools to make you feel in control, not overwhelmed. With Odoo's all-in-one, easy-to-use platform, everything is together so you can focus on what matters. Start at odoo.com today. That's ODOO.com.
Hey, Steven, did you know the readers of the Free Times voted Samuels Reynolds as the second best personal injury law firm in the Midlands?
I sure did, Jason. And the state newspaper voted us third best workers' compensation law firm. What do you think about that?
I think we want to be number one. So we're just going to have to work even harder. You in?
I'm in. Let's do this.
I'm Jason Reynolds, and we're the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm. We get South Carolina because we're true South Carolina. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-902-5454. That's 800-902-5454. 800-902-5454.
Hey y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Want to unlock the power of athlete marketing to grow your business? Garnet Trust has recently launched a business membership program, making it easier than ever for your business to work directly with a USC student athlete. Visit garnettrust.com today or call 803-250-1765 to see your business boom.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 1075 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot. Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
No accidents to report, and weather-wise, I'd like to report that it's going to warm up. It's time. It's May. Come on. Or no, it's not. It's not even May yet. It's March, but it still should be warming up. So today we're going to have a high of 53 with some clouds, overnight low 32. Tomorrow, 65. Friday, 74. And then we'll be in the 80s for the weekend. So good weather on the way, but chilly start to your morning, 33 right now.
The Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Between DQ Smith, Brandon Cisse, Jalen Kilgore, that's a lot of big losses in the secondary. However, Clayton White's proven that they can get the next man up. And when it comes to getting guys on the outside to come in and be able to be instant impact players, like from the transfer portal, I think Brandon Cisse worked out pretty well for him. Clearly, he's going to be a first-round pick, potentially, in the NFL draft. Mel Kiper's got him in the first round, and Tankathon's got him in the first round, and a few other mocks have him in the first round. Just varies from mock to mock that you look at. So you take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of additions to the room, including the addition of Kentucky's Quaysheed Scott, which I think a lot of people are really excited about.
Very similar in profile to Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina native.
Yep.
Goes away, comes back, highly regarded. That's somebody that I think we definitely need to watch.
And then when it comes to other players stepping up into larger roles, which I think this defense over the last couple of years has done a really good job of doing, and this is kind of regardless of position, like Brian Thomas Jr., really good example of that, of a guy who didn't get the primary snaps in 24 at that position, had the opportunity in 25, and I thought had a really solid year.
Absolutely.
Especially as the season went on, you really saw a lot from Brian Thomas Jr. But can that same thing work in the secondary? Because Peyton Williams has played a lot of impactful football for this team, meaningful snaps. Now his role is going to be even more important. Jen, this will be cut 16 from yesterday's list because Clayton White was talking about the secondary, replacing some of those guys, specifically DQ Smith, and he talked a little bit about Peyton Williams, and here's what Coach White had to say.
But yes, DQ definitely one of my favorites of all time from just being a former quarterback in high school here, and then he's basically been, coaches. I've been here with them all 4 years, so Peyton is definitely the new voice back there. Peyton is not as vocal as DQ, but he's smart as just like DQ. But I feel like Peyton will have to, raise his voice a little bit more, in which I kind of put him in those situations to make sure that he does. Anytime that a player behind him makes a mistake or doesn't make the right check, I look at Peyton and say, that's on you. That's not on Coach Gray. That's not on myself. So I'm kind of putting some more stuff on Peyton in regards to just and he looks at me like, you know what, you're right. That is on me. So I do like that part. I'm excited. He's Mr. Consistent. He's always been that way, and just continue excited about what he's going to do this spring and just bringing guys along with him, beside him, and behind him.
Certainly elevated leadership role there for Peyton, but what I like about what Coach White said was talking about how smart he is, and one of the highlights in a really down season last year was at the LSU game. After the game, he talked about the interception that he made where he picked off Garrett Nussmeier in the end zone, where he basically jumped a slant route, and he was walking through and he said, well, we saw that play last year, and we recognized at the line of scrimmage, I knew that the ball was going to be in the middle somewhere, and he just jumps the route and ends up getting a big interception to keep them in the game, because in that game, that defense gave the offense every single opportunity they could to be able to win that game. That defense certainly did their part in Baton Rouge that night. Peyton Williams was a big part of that, and a lot of that was the preparation and the smarts that you need to have at that position. Now it's doing a lot of the other stuff, like leadership roles and being a guy who has been here long enough to be able to show other newer players the ropes and being able to kind of be that voice on the back end of the defense.
And so that's what Peyton's main objective for the spring is. We know he can do the physical things. We know he can play the position. He's already proven that. Now he has to take on another, maybe bigger aspect of the role of the free safety, is being the quarterback of the defense back there. And that's a huge, huge important thing that he has to do. And that's why we had the luxury of having DQ Smith back there. And DQ suffers from what a lot of longtime safeties suffer from, is that sort of a unfair bias that the fans have towards them, against them, because we only pay attention when they miss a tackle, when they're all by themselves, or when the coverage gets sort of messed up and you see them and they're only one back there. We don't really give them credit for all the things that go right every other defensive play.
Hard position to evaluate in that respect.
Because and the old phrase is like, when a defensive lineman makes a mistake, it's a first down. When a free safety makes a mistake, it's a touchdown. And those are the things that stick in your brain. And so obviously DQ was the best person back there for a lot of the intangibles that he brought, and that's what Peyton is going to have to work on this spring.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things, I think, really in sports in general, especially when it comes to defense. It doesn't matter if it's like football, even basketball, and sports like hockey too, where it's so assignment-based that sometimes it is really hard to divvy up credit or blame based on the results of the play because we don't know what the assignment was, right? And so it can be really difficult. And when we do things like this, like what we do for a living, a lot of the times it's trying to make an educated guess. And that's why you ask them after the game, about what happened on a certain play to know if whose assignment it was that ended up going deep or whatever, it was that ended in the result. But I think what Peyton Williams has too that's so valuable is like those smarts to be able to recognize things on the offensive side of the ball that could be cues for him to be able to make plays like jumping a route for an interception. Or my favorite part, which was in 24 in the Vanderbilt game where an injury happens, he has to come in and play a lot of meaningful snaps, and he has a really good game against a good Vanderbilt team on the road where South Carolina won by 3 touchdowns. They don't do that if Peyton Williams doesn't come in and next man up it. And that's the type of guy with the type of experience that you need on a defense, because you never know when somebody's going to be in a position where they have to do the exact same thing. And you have a guy that's going to be starting and playing a really big role in that defense who has lived it.
And you have the Peyton Williams coming through what is a more traditional player development route.
Yes.
High school recruited, comes in, plays a little bit on special team, fills in for a starter. We get to know him a little bit, and now we're excited to see what he's going to do as the probable eventual starter. That's sort of more what we're used to of how players progress through a system.
We're a little more accustomed to that. And you know what makes him a perfect candidate for? Breakout player.
Yes.
We had our conversation about what makes a breakout player last summer when it came time to finding somebody on, South Carolina offense and defense. Elevated role, not on any preseason, I guess, watch list or, all SEC. That at least they're not going to be released for a while, but I have a feeling that's going to end up being the case. So he's a little under the radar nationally in an SEC circles, but has made plays. Is just going to be an elevated role. Makes the prime breakout candidate. We'll end up having that day later on in the offseason, but I'm telling you right now, he is certainly a player that I find to be incredibly interesting. But coming up next, we'll talk about what happened on the diamond last night.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, man. 2-2 going into the top of the ninth. I thought we was going to win it. You talking about World Baseball Classic, right?
Sure. And we'll continue that on the other side as you're listening to the early game.
Want to play? The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
If the Gamecocks hit a grand slam, you can win cash. It's the Crescent Construction Grand Slam Giveaway. If the Gamecocks don't hit a grand slam, the pot goes up $25 a game. Just go to 1075thegame.com to register.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Tough night for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic Championship game. Venezuela is the nation that's celebrating into this morning. I hate it for Team USA, but game-recognized game. The pitching staff for Venezuela was nothing short of sensational. Eugenio Torres, the hero for Venezuela, a double in the ninth lifts them over Team USA by a score of 3-2. This is something you got to learn from moving forward on that day.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's Veozah.com. Paid for by Stellus Pharma.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
If you're looking to get stronger, you don't necessarily need a bunch of heavy weights to do that, at least not to start. Body weight workouts, when you do them the right way, can be really effective. Strength and conditioning specialist Dana Santis told us, with body weight training, you create progressive overload by changing joint angles, adding instability, or choosing more challenging variations of the same exercise. Two other factors driving progressive overload are time under tension and muscular fatigue. That means the amount of time your muscles are engaged during a movement, the slower the movement, the harder it will be until you reach the point where you can't do another rep with good form. You want to stop before you collapse. Also, remember this, pay attention to your breath. So important. Breathe out when you exert force. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
The early game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Well, it was a rough night in the world of baseball last night.
Yeah, rough night. Went down to the wire. But, you know, I guess the best team won at the end of the tournament. The best team has to win, right?
Well, something else happened instead. You're not incorrect.
We're talking about the World Baseball Classic. That's the baseball I was watching last night, right?
I would like to say that was the most of our troubles there, was Team USA for the second straight World Baseball Classic, falling one game short, despite Bryce Harper hitting a bomb in the 9th inning.
My guy.
Hit a absolute nuke to tie the game up at 2, and that excitement lasted 1/2 inning.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it be your own people. My man, Eugenio Suarez, Cincinnati Reds. He's come back to the Cincinnati Reds. Gets the game-winning RBI. Can't answer back in the bottom of the 9th. Well,
yeah. Very conflicted. Had to cheer against my guy, Ronald Acuna Jr. That's tough. It's a tough spot.
It is
but
hard.
I'm a Patriot, so yeah, you're on the other side for right now. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. But I don't think that's what we're talking about.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that was not necessarily what I was alluding to.
There was another game that I would have opted to have bamboo shoots stuck under my fingernails than to endure.
Enduring is the best way of putting maybe the viewing experience there. And for those who did endure it, you probably did so from the comfort of your own home, because I saw John Whittle's tweet of the picture of the stadium. And unless a lot of people came disguised as red seats, there are not a lot of folks in attendance. And, well, Carolina loses 11-8 to Charlotte. Now, yes, a Charlotte team that's won 13 games already, but no one wants to hear that. No one cares because you're 12-10 now.
Yeah, what conference are they in?
They're in the American Athletic Conference. Now they just call the American.
Mm-hmm. What conference are we in?
That would be the Southeastern Conference.
Okay.
Where allegedly it just means more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want to talk about a game getting out of hand when it didn't have to. You scored 8 runs, you got 9 hits, and you Will Craddock hit the ball incredibly well, like he's done all year long. But that's not the issue. The issue is the fielding. Because the Gamecocks didn't have 1. They didn't have 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 turnovers.
It's our Kobe meme.
The Kobe meme where he's looking over at a heckler in the stands and he goes, 1, no, shakes that 2, no, 3, 4, 5 errors. And the tweet from David Kleiniger last night really sums it up.
What a writer.
Best in the biz.
Yeah,
be able to do this in a tweet, man.
Oh, best in the biz. He goes, 5th straight loss. This one courtesy of a drop fly ball that would have ended the 5th inning with USC ahead 5-3. Runs scored on the air, 1 of 5 on the night. Then, wild pitch, walk, RBI, walk, grand slam.
That is what we would like to refer to as a big inning. We talked about the scientific term of big inning. Anytime you score more than 4 runs, that qualifies. Usually big innings do come courtesy of self-inflicted wounds, and they didn't just do any of them, they did all of them.
7 runs scored by Charlotte in the 5th inning, fueled by errors and walks. Now, 5 errors is bad enough. 2 wild pitches, bad enough. Strikeout walk ratio for South Carolina on the mound, 5 strikeouts, 11 walks. If you're missing the strike zone against Charlotte, you're going to miss it against anybody. That is a
hello Arkansas
opponent. Yeah, top 5 Arkansas. It's coming into town this weekend. That's one of those things too that if you're walking a lot of batters, you walk a lot of batters today, you're going to do it tomorrow, right? Because it's not contingent on what the other team is doing. All they have to do is just not swing at the pitch, and you're getting them 1/4 to a base. And then if you walk 11, you give up 11 free passes. Buddy, I have no idea.
There is no baseball game you will win. We prescribe 2 things. You said you wanted to see less walks. I said I wanted to see less errors. 11 walks, 5 errors. There's no planet on there's no game that you will ever win with those errors. It doesn't matter with those statistics. It doesn't matter who you're playing, where you're playing, who you're supposed to be, who they're supposed to be. You cannot win with those numbers. And so if you just look at the box score, if you take the logos away, it's not surprising. 11 walks, 5 errors, you lose. Every time.
Now, Preston, I'm curious because I'm wanting to make sure no blame falls on you. Did you write another prescription for them or no?
Well, they didn't follow my last prescription, so they haven't come back to see me.
Oh,
so
I see.
What happened was they were supposed to take all 5 of the pills that I gave them. They took 4, and I told them that if you don't take all 5 of these, this stuff is going to come back, and it's back.
Oh, it's back and
with a
it's
vengeance.
stronger.
Yeah,
I told them that.
This is a life lesson. Like, finish the prescription. Doctor tells you to do something, you're going to have to do it.
Yep.
And if we go back to just the beginning of the Florida series, so this is the last 4 games, you've struck out 22 batters as a pitching staff. You have walked 30. As 30 walks.
It's called unbalanced scales.
Yeah, not a good ratio. Not a good ratio at all. And look, it was a very loud reaction to the game if you were on Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is that social media site you subscribe to and like to vent your frustrations about your favorite teams. But you don't even have to be online. All you got to do is see the picture of what happened at Founders Park and the lack of attendance to know that there is a serious problem outside of just the results, right? Clearly, there is stuff that is not happening to get people excited about this baseball team and being 12-10 now with losses on the season to Charlotte, Northern Kentucky, Army, Queens. Am I missing one here? The Citadel.
Citadel. Yeah, I was going to say Charlotte is the 704 is dominating us. Between Charlotte and Queens, we are.
Oh, buddy.
We can't beat 704.
0-2. Is there another school? I guess if you lose to Elon, I guess if you schedule Elon and you lose to them, then
combined in the area. Yeah, they are struggling. I will say though, interesting night maybe last night in the Chastain Woodard household, because the coach for the Charlotte 49ers is Mr. Robert Woodard, who's the husband of Miss Ashley Chastain Woodard. Sure, she just kind of was just like,
good job, honey.
Uncomfortable.
All right, great job.
That's a really good, excellent point.
I am afraid to report things have gone from incredibly bleak to incredibly dark on the baseball front. But coming up next, though, the big dance starts here in 24 hours. We'll discuss it coming up next.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by the Blood Connection.
Most assume that someone else will show up, but only 3% of the population donates blood. That's not enough. Make the call to give and save a life. Donate blood with the Blood Connection, your community blood center. Visit thebloodconnection.org to find a nearby donation center.
Plus tax tags entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Are you a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system? AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA Heating and Air now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling 803-677-1500 for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell them Jay Phillips of 107.5 sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia. Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Run the Cup, the Governor's Cup Road Race, sponsored by Lexington Health. Be part of history in downtown Columbia at one of the longest running and most prestigious road races in the Southeast. The Half Marathon, 5K, and Main Street Mile are open for registration. Kids can run for free in the Kids Main Street Mile. And don't miss the post-race celebration with music, food, vendors, and a special awards ceremony. Join Lexington Health and register now for the Governor's Cup Road Race, April 10th and 11th. Learn more at runthecup.com. Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Still pretty good out there. No accidents to report. Welcoming that for sure on your Wednesday morning. Just have to contend with some colder temperatures. 53 will be the high today. 65 tomorrow. 74 on Friday. And yes, there is baseball at Founders Park this weekend. It's going to be great weather for it. Low to mid 80s on Saturday and Sunday. Right now, looking at a need for some kind of jacket because it's 33 on 107.5 The Game.
back to sports. The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Hour number 2 of the Early Game starts right now. I'm Elijah Campbell. He is Preston Thorne. She is Jen Jensen. And we're going to have some fun on today's show. Because we got the NCAA tournament. Men's and women's start this weekend. Men's tournament starts tomorrow in terms of the actual field of 64, like the first round. We had the first 4 last night, which Texas tried to blow it. They tried really hard.
Yeah, I started watching that game, and I was like, what am I doing? There's baseball on tonight. Not the baseball you're thinking about. Or maybe the baseball you want to think about. Or maybe it is
the one you want to think about. And if you were just a Ronald Acuna fan, you're excited that you won him a championship.
Like I said, man, very difficult. It's like Pavlov's dog. You know, my reaction, I see Acuna, I'm cheering. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't cheer for this. That's not my guy. Not today.
It's my guy normally for 162 games in a Major League Baseball regular season. But not tonight.
Stops tonight.
And unfortunately,
yeah,
they pulled out a win.
They did.
Real bummer.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Venezuela. You did it. But if you watched the World Baseball Classic and you didn't watch Texas-NC State, Texas had, about a 7 or 8 point lead with a couple minutes left. NC State got it within 3. Got within 2, actually. And then Tremont Mark hits a follow-away shot to make it 4. NC State then battles back, gets it down to where it's tied. They end up tying it after Texas ends up, giving up a basket or pair of free throws, turns the ball over. NC State ties it. Tremont Mark hits a follow-away shot with 1 second left to take the lead, and then they block the ensuing desperation heave from NC State. So Texas is the first SEC team to appear in this tournament, 1-0. And the SEC got the most teams in this thing. They got 10 teams in the tournament. They had the most last year, too, with 14. They ended up getting half of the Final Four field. And, of course, they played each other in the Final Four, so they couldn't play each other in the national title game. And then Florida beat Houston for the national title. It was a historic year in the SEC. Clearly, regression was something that was going to happen. You're not going to do that again this year, but you still got 10 of the 16 teams in your league in. Well, more than half. So now my question, Preston Thorne. We've seen a lot of these SEC teams play this year. How many of them actually end up making the second weekend of this thing?
Ooh,
so
okay.
I have a couple prime candidates.
All right. Well, with Texas, they're going to get into that 11 seed, BYU. Do they make it past BYU? Let's start right there.
I say no.
Okay, so that's down. Miami, Missouri.
I think Missouri gets beat by Miami.
Georgia, St. Louis.
I think St. Louis actually ends up winning that game. I'm not a big believer in Georgia. Too inconsistent.
So we're 0 for 3 right now. All right, let's continue. Alabama, Hofstra.
Alabama will beat Hofstra.
Have they gotten that point guard situation figured out?
He dodged a bullet when it comes to getting a felony charge, but Nate Oates said he will not be with the team. So there will be no Aiden Holloway. They also upped the count. Remember yesterday we said that he was caught with a pound of marijuana? Well, it came out yesterday. It was 2.1 pounds.
Listen, man. When I weigh myself,
I flub weight all the time.
Come on, man. What's up?
Who hasn't taken off a pound of whatever it is that, when you're weighing, Who hasn't done? Who among us hasn't done that?
When you go to the deli and they're like, is this all right? You're like,
That's fine.
It's fine.
It looks good. Passes the eye test.
Tennessee, this is going to be – that game hasn't been played yet. Miami, Ohio, SMU?
Miami, Ohio, SMU is tonight.
Okay. But I assume you have Tennessee moving forward.
I will say this. If Miami, Ohio beats SMU, Tennessee will beat Miami of Ohio. If SMU beats Miami of Ohio, it is a toss-up, but I did take Tennessee anyway.
Okay. Kentucky?
Kentucky will lose to Santa Clara. I have Kentucky losing.
So, I mean, you're only one possible team moving forward.
I like Alabama over Hofstra.
Oh, one and a possible. Like we're playing spades here. You got one and a possible. So you got Alabama and then Tennessee based on who they're playing. So what does that indicate about what you think about the SEC? Because you watched them all year this year.
I think it was a little bit overrated as a league. There's too many teams that I think are a little inconsistent. They're way too inconsistent. There's a lot of teams that have very expensive rosters that are not worth the rosters that they spent the money on. Kentucky clearly being the poster boy here. And my issue with Kentucky is, I don't know, they were better this year defensively than they have been maybe the last couple of years, but that bar is like being a top 40 defense. Santa Clara can score the rock too. Like Santa Clara is really good. And maybe people around here had, at least in the Southeast United States, maybe haven't watched a ton of Santa Clara because the game starts so late. But I'm telling you, that is a great program coached by a guy in Herb Sendek who developed James Harden at Arizona State and helped him become a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. He's got a really good successful track record of winning, and he's done nothing but win and develop players at Santa Clara. So I think Kentucky ends up losing that game. I just think there are way too many teams in this league that were good enough to get in, but aren't going to be good enough to beat their opponent, whether it is a bad matchup, right? I think like Texas A&M and St. Mary's is interesting because Texas A&M plays a certain style, and I do think it is easier to play fast than to make another team play slow. But St. Mary's also they can force turnovers. They are really good at keeping the ball in front of them, and they can also shoot the ball really well.
And so are you saying Texas A&M moves ahead?
I'm saying Texas A&M gets beat.
All right, that's another one. I left out Arkansas on that side. Arkansas does beat Hawaii.
They do beat Hawaii.
Okay, Arkansas does beat Hawaii. Florida, obviously, 1 versus 16.
Would be historic if they lost to either Prairie View A&M or Lehigh.
That probably won't happen. What about Vandy and McNeese?
McNeese will give them a game, but Vandy's going to win. Okay. I do like Vanderbilt a lot.
I think we got everybody as I'm looking through, trying to go through very quickly here. Now, that being said, when you get into these teams that you predicted may or may not win, are there any of these SEC teams that you think maybe should not be here?
That's a really good question. Missouri, Florida with it. I think if Missouri didn't beat Florida in the first game of the SEC slate, they would not be here. Or if they did not hit a buzzer-beating 3 to beat Oklahoma, then maybe Oklahoma's in this position. Missouri's certainly probably the luckiest to be here in this position.
Well, I look at Missouri because I know 2 years ago they were in a very similar position to where we were. I mean, we're kind of mirror images basketball-wise, and they've made 2 in a row, right?
Yep, this is their second straight tournament after going 0-for.
They went 0-for in the SEC, and that's why we was looking at them. 2 years ago, they went 0-for in the SEC. They made a concerted effort. They kept their coach, who was hired at the same time as our guy was hired. They kept the coach, kept him around, made a concerted effort to make an investment in basketball. They did some things. He upgraded the facility, changed his office, did all the hokey things that you wanted to do. And for the next 2 years, after the administration decided to make a change has been made. What does that mean for us?
It means it can be done, but you need total buy-in everywhere, right? Which means, does that mean maybe doubling what you spent on the roster? Maybe. Does that mean doing some work to, I guess, your facility or doing a couple other things in terms of adding people to the staff to help evaluate talent better? Maybe, because Missouri has landed a lot of guys in the transfer portal. That offseason, after going winless in SEC play, they did get Mark Mitchell from Duke, and that has helped a lot because Mark Mitchell has been their best player the last 2 years. And again, has taken them to the NCAA tournament now for 2 years in a row. They have gotten bigger. Like that's one of the, like in terms of size, one of the biggest teams in the SEC. They made a concerted effort to do the exact opposite of what they were doing in that 0-19 season. And I'll count the SEC tournament as part of that record.
And to quote Elijah Campbell, it could always be worse.
There could always be worse.
And so though we did technically upgrade to 4 wins this year, that team was in the cellar. The absolute worst that it could get. It could not get worse than that. And they made that adjustment. So I'm not trying to offer any garnet glasses or hope, but like you said, it doesn't mean it will be done, but it means that it can be done.
That it can, yes, because it probably seemed really bleak. And they're kind of in a somewhat similar position because the year before that, they made the NCAA tournament, right? Like Missouri was in the tournament the year before. This is Dennis Gates' 3rd trip to the tournament with Missouri.
Wow, okay.
And sandwiched in between, those 3 tournament appearances was an 0-19 SEC season. So it can be done. But in terms of what Missouri does moving forward, we'll see what the ceiling of Dennis Gates ends up being at Mizzou. because they're a 10 seed right now. I just don't see them beating Miami. I know a lot of people are looking at that like, oh, the game's in St. Louis. That should be giving Missouri an edge. Miami's just a better basketball team, in my opinion. Better guard play. Malik Reynu's really good. I actually think Miami ends up beating Purdue in the second round too.
So if I'm filling out a bracket, do I have to turn my SEC bias off as I'm making these? Because that's one of the things that, speaking for a friend, that if somebody might go to if they're not necessarily familiar with teams, you might be like, well, they're in the SEC. Let me put them in. Are you telling me to kind of dial it back a little bit as I'm filling out my bracket?
I wouldn't expect to take a lot of teams very far.
So maybe first game, first weekend, and then
as the ceiling. Now, if you look at even just like where teams are seeded, and you just want to play the seed expectation game, which means if seed expectation means you're just going to go as far as you are favored in terms of seeding, right? So a 1 seed, your seed expectation is to get to the Final Four. 2 seed, your seed expectation is to lose in the Elite 8 to the 1 seed, and so on and so forth. If you just want to look at like seed expectation, Florida expected to go, Final Four. Vanderbilt would be losing in the second round, and then Texas A&M losing in the first round, Kentucky losing in the second round, Tennessee losing in the second round, Alabama losing in the Sweet 16, Georgia losing in the second round, Missouri losing first, Texas losing first, Arkansas losing in the Sweet 16. So really, if you just want to do the seed expectation game, you only have one team that has a seed expectation beyond the Sweet 16. And that's if you just look at it as simplistically as that.
Now, what is success? Is success the number of teams you get through, or is it if a team wins it, conference-wise?
I would say if you want to make the case that you're the best conference, I think you have to have the most teams that are in the second weekend, so the Sweet 16. If you can still be the conference,
and Sweet 16 is where we consider, all right, we've done something.
Yes, yeah, you've won 2 games in the tournament, and you are, a game away from essentially the quarterfinals nationally.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is whoever ends up getting the most teams in that Sweet 16, I think has the best case of saying they were the better conference. And right now, I think the Big 12 and the Big 10 will be the most represented in the second weekend of the tournament. So even though you got the most teams in, can you get the most teams to at least advance a couple times? Because that would reflect if you only, because I only have 2 SEC teams in the second weekend.
Florida and Vandy?
Florida and Vandy. Because I do have Arkansas getting beat by Wisconsin. Now, Arkansas could definitely beat Wisconsin. I am just very high on the Badgers. And I'm high on Arkansas, too. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that game goes in Arkansas's way. So really, I would be maybe surprised if more than 3 SEC teams are in the second weekend of the tournament. That would kind of be my expectation for them. But I have other conferences maybe a little more represented. And that would reflect, though, to me, what I've kind of believed about this league all year. You have a lot of good teams. You don't have a lot of great teams. You have teams that maybe have very lower ceilings, but their inconsistency keeps them from being better. Like Georgia's roster was solid. I think they very much so earned an 8. Kentucky underachieved grossly, and that's why they're a 7. Tennessee underachieved grossly. That's why they're a 6. Their talent on those teams, and certainly how much you pay for them, should indicate that you are a top 5, at least, seed in this tournament.
Last question. With Kentucky underachieving during the regular season, is this a case where they could wake up and put it together in the tournament, or that's not a possibility?
Anything's possible. I mean, I think they lose to Santa Clara, but if they beat Santa Clara, let's just say they win that game, they have to play Iowa State, and that is a team that forces a ton of turnovers, actually 4th nationally in that. I don't know if Kentucky's able to take care of the ball because they have not shown me they can take care of the ball well enough in that situation. They would have to really wake up. It'd be like it would be like, chugging 2 5-hour energies when you wake up type of wake up, right? Like that's the type of jolt they would need it for me to be convinced that they're going to make it even into the second weekend of this tournament. But coming up next, it's the early game morning meeting, and we love music on this show, and we're going to try to make light of a bad baseball situation. We are creating our own Gamecock baseball playlist, and we'll do that coming up next.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out our sweet deals, like $50 worth of great eats from Grill Marks for just $25 and a 6-month membership to the YMCA for half price. It's all at 1075thegame.com. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Press here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield? No problem. They'll come out to your location and they'll replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with the insurance to take away the headache. That's right. They'll come out to wherever you are, school, home, work, it does not matter. Absolute Glass will come out to you and take care of the job for you. If you're at home, looking to increase the value of your home, Absolute Glass can take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. I say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand openings, 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because Rhino Shield is backed by a 25-year warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick. Put down that paintbrush and pick up your phone. Call Rhino Shield at 833-RHINO-99. Call now and receive 15% off the regular price. Or go to RhinoShieldCarolina.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
For your 15% off, call now, 833-RHINO-99. Or go to RhinoShieldCarolina.com.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3 grand.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
No accidents at this time. And as far as your forecast goes, well, it's looking better. And we will welcome this. It's going to be 53 today, overnight low 32, but then it's going to get warmer and that warming trend will continue. Tomorrow 65, 74 on Wednesday, and the low 80s for the weekend. Are going to have a cooler overnight again tonight into tomorrow. 32 will be that overnight low, like it is currently 33 on 107.5 The Game.
The Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
We love talking about music. Big music show here. And we thought, what's maybe the best way to talk through the baseball season that it's been? Well, we can make our own playlist. So that's what we're going to do for today's morning meeting.
Good morning.
Morning.
Repeat after me. Today will be an awesome day. Let's go. Good morning, great today. Today will be an awesome day. Good morning, great today. Today will be an awesome day.
And the first song that we can put on here is coming by way of the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
What a banger.
Oh, Jeff with the text of the day. It's going to be hard to top this. Jeff says, the playlist at the away games has been Cool in the Gang Celebrate in the background for the post-game interviews. Looks like the only way we're going to hear that this season. Because it's every time. Every time we play a Paul Maneri clip after an away game or an away loss, it feels like that song is in the background. Every single time. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Woo-hoo! Meanwhile, Paul's talking about, the errors that happened out in the field. We just keep walking, can't keep walking guys like this. So I don't know what's happening with the bats. It's the entire time you're hearing that in the background.
Come on!
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Walking too many batters.
Errors.
Just not executing in the field.
I don't know what to tell you. Celebrate good times.
Even if you're Paul, because those are just like the clips that we're getting to play over the air. He's never going to want to hear that song again.
It's going to be ruined.
Completely.
He's going to be going at like his grandchildren's, weddings in the future or something like that. And they're going to be like, don't play that song. I have one do not play song on my list. Cannot play Celebrate. It reminds me of a bad time in my life.
They play it anyway. He just walks out. Just completely
walks
ruined.
out with the big L on the forehead, like, that's all this means to me.
Which could go for one of my first songs that I would like to put on the list. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you be? Shout out to Beck.
Oh,
one of the great.
Beck.
Probably could just put on that whole Sea Change album and just be Sad Boys if you was into baseball.
There's some Sad Boy bangers in Beck's discography for sure.
Very underrated Sad Boy, Beck.
Yeah, very underrated Sad Boy because Beck has such a large range, right? I've got a few of them. One, the first thing that popped up in my head last night when I saw the picture of the stadium, one of my favorite grunge rock bands, Stone Temple Pilots, Big Empty.
That's a great one. That's a very solid one. I also thought of a song when I saw that, and this is by renowned scoundrel Bobby Womack.
Renowned,
yes, very much in the top S tier scoundrel. Patino, Bobby Womack, Spider-Man meme.
Just pointing at each other.
But a great artist. The song I'm gonna go from Bobby Womack's category. If you think you're lonely now. The chorus is wait until tonight. And I would say we just did that. If you think you're lonely now, wait until this weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
There's a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song. Even the losers.
Get lucky sometimes.
Thought you was gonna go with Free Falling.
You know what? That probably is even better because it's not quite so mean. Maybe, yeah.
Breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
I think
see?
we have our own Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
I'm thinking,
theme
see what I
here.
started? Down on it.
Pulmonary and the Heartbreakers.
That's the band name.
I'm Pulmonary. These are the Heartbreakers.
These are the Heartbreakers. Welcome to our show. A lot of good submissions on the text line,
Let's go.
too. We got one texter. I don't know if I put the name here. Scott. Yes, thank you, Scott. Hurt, but the Johnny Cash version. That's
Okay.
what he's got there. Strange. Originally 9 Inch Nails song, which I did not know until like
Backwards.
3 or 4 years ago.
Trent Reznor. Dude.
Dude, yes, capital D. Dude. Shannon says, Highway to Hell, and had a bad day.
Have you had a bad day? Made 5 errors. Walked 11 people.
Gave up a grand slam. You could really, I mean, honestly, like, you know how like the Levitard show would do like re-recordings of songs because they're all really musically inclined. Like it wouldn't sound good if we did it, but I think lyrically we could make
we could get to that one.
Lyrically, yeah, we could pull that off. A whole lot of other the texts are coming in right now, but I still have a couple more that are some bangers here. In terms of covers, because I choosing this version of the song because I love Ronnie Millsap. Don't You Ever Get Tired of Hurting Me? Great country song.
Yeah.
Second Ronnie Millsap reference, not this week, but this month for sure.
Oh, this week?
This week.
I pulled one out on Monday.
Ronnie Millsap guy, certified.
Big Ronnie guy.
Nice.
Big Ronnie guy. Where nobody likes sad songs, but you also do sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year. Willie.
One of my faves. Top 3 Willie song for me. I'm going to go with I'm Afraid the Masquerade is Over.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, the masquerade is over. If you listen to the chorus of words I think it's by David Porter from the Stax crew. It's just I'm afraid the masquerade is over. I think it's over.
Nice.
Yeah, Preston can carry a tune a little bit.
With a little tenor.
Yeah,
thank you.
You can carry a little bit of a tune. Another good one. This is, I had to get a Ghetto Boys reference in here. Mind playing tricks on me, because if you watched that 5th inning last night, you all probably couldn't believe some of the mistakes that were being made. There were plenty of them. And then, after watching that, you probably turned on Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. A song that quite literally started a riot in Woodstock 99.
Nice. Archive that one. Check that one out, kids.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you'll have to have Terry Ford tell you the story where he covered Woodstock 99.
I need to hear that.
As a radio professional.
I need to hear that.
So he saw the fiasco up close.
Any other from the text line?
From the Firehouse Subs text line, this is, John just says Elton John, sad songs. Which, very, very much so.
They do say so much.
Tony from Chapin says, how about the Willie Nelson banger, Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Gamecocks?
Yeah. Don't want to play that one on the recruiting trail.
Cyrus says Separate Ways by Journey.
Nice.
Great tune, though. Great tune. Jay from the Interstate says, my song is Fill Her Up Again, John Party. Not heard the song, but I can imagine what is being filled up here, and I don't think it's the gas tank.
Probably not.
I would go out on a limb and say.
It probably, if you got it near a flame, it would probably ignite. That's what you're filling up.
That's right. Jeff on the Firehouse Subs text line, too, goes, might want to add Wayward Son, and carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest.
Don't you cry no more.
Nice.
Excellent.
One is Calling Baton Rouge for sure. That was a nameless texter. That's Calling Baton Rouge. Oh, that's good. Billy says no parking on the dance floor.
Correct.
And then Dane, it says Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John and Kiki D.
Nice.
So many good ones that you could have too. And then after, the last 5 games or so, I'll allude to the song that, not the one that we play come back from break, because that's the sampled version by A Tribe Called Quest, but the song that it came from, which is Take a Walk on the Wild Side. Walks, wild pitches, you named it. Lou Reed's got it. 803-404-6100. We'll continue taking your Gamecock baseball playlist song submissions on the Firehouse Subs text line. But coming up next, it's time to give out some Denny Green Awards and tell you who is exactly who we thought they were.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
No need to be sad about this if you have tax issues that are weighing you down. It's something that, rightfully so, would make you a little bummed out or stressed. But my friend John Ecton and his team at the Ecton Law Firm are here to alleviate that stress and not make this so much a sad song anymore. 803-771-9800 is the number to call to talk to John and his team at the Ecton Law Firm to set up a free consultation to where you can talk to that local team that's been resolving income and business tax issues for good in the great state of South Carolina. And at the Ecton Law Firm, they certainly understand the challenges that your business can face, and they've been doing this for a long, long time. There is nothing that you can show them or tell them that they haven't seen before. They've been getting people out of that IRS maze for years. So take that first step to a worry-free life today and alleviating that stress by calling the Ecton Law Firm. Again, 803-771-9800, or you can visit them at ectonlawfirm.com. That's ECTONlawfirm.com.
Sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices. Exclusively at Walmart and StraightTalk.com.
Plus tax tags entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Yo, this is Ray and Nathan with Pope Davis Tire Automotive.
Dad, why do the other tire places in town not like us?
They are just jelly about our lit prices.
Like the top 17-inch size for your Mom-mobile, $500 for a set of 4 out the door.
Or the top 20-inch truck size for $720 total, no cap.
You can even buy tires online at PopeDavisTire.com.
Why is my line just 6'7"?
6'7"!
I don't get it.
PopeDavisTire.com.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Start your day with Drake C. Toll.
I'm Drake Toll, on the air from 6 a.m. to 9 Eastern, getting you to work every day. To do that with Westwood One, the Oxford University of Names in Sports Media. Buckle up.
Then Black and Abdallah.
That shot was insane.
Is that what you would say on the air?
You're the play-by-play guy.
Abdallah being testy. All right, here we go.
And Westwood One Sports Night.
Stay on the line, get on the call, talk about whatever you want. That's what we're doing on Westwood One Sports Night.
Westwood One Sports Talk. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
It's
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Things still moving along fairly well. At least no accidents that it will be getting in your way this morning. So we'll take that. And as far as your forecast goes, yep, we've been talking about that. We've had the little cool front that we've dealt with. We're starting to make our way out of it. Be about like yesterday today. 53 for the high, overnight low 32. But 65 tomorrow, 74 on Friday, low 80s for the weekend. It's still chilly to start your morning right now. Looking at 33 on 107.5 The Game.
With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played three quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
But they
are who we
thought
thought they were.
That's right, Denny. They are who we thought they were.
Tell him, Denny.
And I think Denny might be talking about the early game crew as a whole, because you guys have submitted some bangers.
Keep them coming in. We're going to make a playlist. We're going to do it. We're going to do it this time. We're going to make a playlist for all the sad boys and girls out there who will endure with us the rest of Gamecock.
We can't sit around here and be sad boys.
Oh, why not, Shane? Why not?
Little did you know, Shane, that we would have to have a baseball and basketball season compounded upon your football season. But that's okay.
Shane clearly didn't grow up listening to My Chemical Romance because, buddy, I can be a sad boy. I can be a sad boy. Oh, buddy, I grew up when emo music was very, very popular, and it was at its peak. Oh, I will out sad boy anybody else on here. I can do it. I can do it. I feel very confident in my abilities in that regard.
Again, just going back to my Beck reference, if you're just feeling like you want to be a sad boy, Beck C Changes. It'll do the trick.
It is the entire album. That man, like, that's change up.
Oh,
in the game.
Talk about a bag. He can get it. He can get his shot from anywhere.
From anywhere.
On a dance floor with the guitar, piano, sad boy, alt rock. Beck is the man. He got a whole album produced by Pharrell, which is fire.
Which is really good. And he's got a couple albums that are just weird.
Yeah, if you want to just go weirdo bag, Beck is there.
Like, straight up. Like, there are some tunes where you're just like, I don't know what is going on here. But then you also have that complete variety. A+ versatility.
For sure.
Big Beck guy. But, Preston Thorne, who else are you giving your Denny Green Award to this
I'm going to start on a positive note, man. I say this all the time, and I want to reiterate this. I am totally fascinated and admire people who end up being who we thought they were. And Bryce Harper is that guy, one of those people for me. He was a phenomenon coming out of high school, skips high school, goes to JUCO. It's this weird story. Everybody's like, I don't know if he's going to be that guy and all these types of things. And he has consistently shown up at every big stage that he's played upon, whether it's the World Series, National League. Unfortunately, as a Brave fan, we've seen that too many times to mention. And then last night, he didn't play well throughout the whole baseball classic, but when they needed him, he hits a bomb, does a very nice home run trot, gives a strong salute, points to the flag, and I believe him. And that's why it was so infurious let me just go to my second one, because Aaron Judge is who I think he is too, and that is a hollow shell of a man, a awesome stat guy, but there's
stat guy.
If you just scratch right below the surface, there's nothing there.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna get this done for our country, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna do some really great things if we just put our mind to it.
You know, John Whittle put a picture out about 9-10 hours ago, and it was Bryce Harper visiting the Gamecocks, and you see Jackie Bradley in this picture.
Yeah, I did see that.
So it's a cool picture.
Yeah,
check out John Whittle.
We were on that thing, but that was never going to happen. But we were there. because he skipped his last year of high school. People are like, what is he doing?
Skipped his last year of high school to play junior college ball, where he was still just hitting nukes off all the pitchers.
Sick. Yeah, Bryce Harper's the man. And then I fell into his TikTok last year where he's on this baking journey. Food, that is. But also,
I mean, that's a double entendre, brother. Did you see his man's eyes?
But also, if you look at the pictures, he might have been baking
Check
something
his
else.
contacts. Aiden Holloway might be in the contacts somewhere.
Correct. That's my guy, man. I really enjoy watching Bryce Harper play baseball.
Yeah, he was fantastic last night when they needed him to be. I want to put Charles Barkley on this list.
Okay.
He was on the call for Texas NC State last night, and buddy, I can tell that man has not watched a lick of college basketball all year long. And poor Dickie V, because Dickie V is one of those, I can never be mad at Dickie V, because you get him rolling on something, he's going to keep going and going and going, and Charles Barkley kept egging it on. At one point, I didn't know there was a play-by-play guy, because they had their own podcast basically going while the game was going on.
I don't know what point you're talking about, but remember I said I watched a little bit of that game, and then I was like, this is an odd pairing. And for real, it was like 3 game minutes where nothing was said about the game. Not a score, not a commentary. Nope. These dudes were just 2 bros chopping it up. It's kind of cool, actually. I kind of liked it. It was just, I mean.
That's almost more of a baseball thing.
It was more of that style of commentary. And not for that particular game, but I could see how if you just put these 2 dudes on a game, I'll listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
They knew nothing about what was happening.
No, Charles Barkley for sure. I don't know if he mentioned one name of a player all night, except for when they were trying to get him to pronounce Nadas Vokatitis' name correctly.
How'd that go?
They got him through it.
Okay.
They got him through it. I think it's the only name that Charles Barkley mentioned all night.
Oh, gosh.
It was hilarious. That's exactly what I thought he was. That's exactly what I expected. I don't know why I expected anything less.
Now for the crime. Gamecock baseball, you are who I thought you were earlier in the season. 5 errors in a game. I've prescribed it, man. You are not going to win making this many errors. And what's really damning is that usually you think errors, you think ground balls. We're seeing errors on pop flies.
Pop flies, yeah.
Pop flies.
Fundamental routine stuff.
That is 2 hands.
Like, get under the ball.
Come on, man.
Watch it in the glove.
This is stuff that should not be happening in any college baseball program. I don't care where you play.
At what level.
For it to be happening at this level is really.
It makes you wonder what's going on in general, because these kids obviously know how to play ball.
Right. That's how I got here.
Are there just distractions? Like what's going on in the inner workings?
You have to start asking some questions.
Yeah, especially in terms of just the psyche of the team, too. When you start doing things you don't normally do, and I think some of the errors, like strikeouts and batting struggles, more along the lines of maybe what we have seen from like the larger sample size, and those things you can coach and live with, but when the fundamental things aren't happening, and there are bigger questions that need to be answered in that regard. I'll tell you a couple in the NFL, because there are a couple of franchises that are exactly who we thought they were. Specifically, the GM of the Los Angeles Rams, Les Snead, famously saying, forget them picks, in order to CeeLo Green, FCC, this thing up. Forget them picks. And he did forget them because he traded them to Kansas City, a first-rounder for Trent McDuffie. The Rams were supposed to have 2 first-rounders this year. Why did I ever think they were going to keep both? Why did I ever expect them to go into the draft keeping both?
Yeah.
It's on me. Les Snead is exactly who we thought he was.
I'm going to put a pending they are who they thought we were.
Okay.
For this one. We're going to pin this because all excuse has been taken out of the way for Justin Fields now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you're a good quarterback.
No.
But now that you're in Kansas City, you have Andy. They brought back
Travis Kelce.
They brought back Travis Kelce. They brought back the OC, too. Old school guy.
Oh, Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy's back. You have a mentor in Patrick Mahomes. There's no excuse for you to not be who everybody else thinks you are. I don't think you're very good. But you've had excuses along the way. You played for the inept Bears at the time. Sorry, Jen.
No, true.
She just said facts.
You played for the Jets. Okay? I don't think you are very good, but I'm going to put this one in pending, and we're going to see if it goes through. But I think the rubber meets the road here.
And he might be lucky that he won't have the pressure of starting early if Patrick Mahomes recovers from that ACL injury in time for the season. I don't know exactly how that timeline's going to play out, but there's a chance he might have to start the season. You know, they might be expecting Mahomes there. You never know in terms of some of those injuries and what the timeline ends up looking like. But coming up next, we'll air out some frustrations, and we're going to put some folks on the line. Coming up next.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Sponsored by Wrangler. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart your day. Team USA had the best closer on the planet sitting in their bullpen in the ninth inning. And that's before we talk about Aaron Judge going 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, or the fact that the most star-studded roster in World Baseball Classic history could only scratch out 3 hits. Add it up, and it's an all-time collapse. I'm John Love.
Love college basketball? Gear up for another exciting season of college ball with a special offer from BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a college basketball odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any college basketball bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. It's that simple. Log in and enjoy our odds boost token to help you create another memorable season of college ball. Head for the net with BetMGM all season long. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This promotional offer not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Total.
My family just went for something to do on a nice spring Saturday, and wow.
You want fun? You want adventure? You need to experience Tartan Day South Celtic Festival, built by Culpeper Wood. Check out the Highland Games, strongman competitions that will make you want to put on a kilt, concerts, dancing, a parade, a British car show. We've got animal shows, knights in armour, and birds of prey that kids will love. Learn about the Celtic influence on our nation's founding as we celebrate 250 years. But there's so much more. The fun starts with a rocking and rollicking Celtic concert, Friday, March 27th at the Icehouse Amphitheatre, that will make you get up and dance. Then celebrate with a full day of festivities on Saturday at the historic Columbia Speedway. Kids under 12 getting free March 27th and 28th. Get your tickets now at tartandaysouth.com. We promise you're going to love it.
It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. My kids and I were blown away.
Life matters. In 19th century America, the Western Union Company literally owned the communication industry in the United States. The future was bright and no serious competitor appeared on the horizon. A few thoughtful employees encouraged Western Union corporate officers to consider buying the patent of a new invention. The cost was considerable, $100,000, and the execs decided it wasn't worth the risk. So an internal company memo read as follows: "This invention has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is of no value to us." So Alexander Graham Bell decided to take his new invention, the telephone, elsewhere, and the rest is history. The Bible says the wicked man flees when no one is after them, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Sometimes a risk is worth taking. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
The Early Game. With former Gamecocks Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Man, hey, let's just go and get on the line right now, man.
My patience is running thin. You're all running out of time. You was late to my practice, sir? Everybody on the line.
It is time to air some grievances and put some folks on the line. Preston Thorne, a lot of ways we can go with this. But I want to start off with one. It's an overall topic that kind of gets me in a tizzy. And it's the use of large companies using AI to eliminate certain jobs for the sake of efficiency. However, we have the most maybe egregious example in the sports journalism world yet. Because ESPN, when it came to creating their women's basketball preview for the NCAA tournament, had matchup pages where you can see one team playing the other, and it gives a little synopsis or a BPI projection. It gives you odds, all that type of stuff. But the records they used were from the men's teams. Like 2-seeded LSU at 15-17 and 3-15 in SEC play. Wow, they must have really been impressive on the eye test, I guess, to get a 2-seed in the NCAA tournament. Against Jacksonville, who was 12-20 and 7-11 in ASUN play. My favorite one, though, North Carolina, 24-8, 12-6 in ACC play, which, if you haven't been keeping it closely, you could be like, okay, that's, that could be men or women's. Playing against Western Illinois, and it says 5-26 and 1-19 in OVC play. How hard is it to just double check and at least care about the coverage of the sport enough to double check and make sure not only are the records correct, but it's the correct team of the school that you're preparing for? And you know what? This is what happens when you don't have human beings in the building sometime. Human beings can be held accountable. Computers can't. So, ESPN,
get on the line. Yes, if you want to know the limitations of AI, just look up something that you know really well and see how far off it is. Because it's really cool when it's stuff that you don't know very well. It's like, oh, man, that's really awesome. And then if you look up something that you really know, you'll see that it's not even close to what a human expert could be.
No, it's maybe picked up something from one article and making that as if that's, the Bible, and it's not.
Yeah, if just look up something that you know, a field that you know very well. Like if you're an accountant, look up some accounting law or something like that, and you'll be like, oh, that's not really how it works. But if it looks really cool for things that you have no idea about. And then that's just sort of the general idea. That being said, we're going to stay on with the theme of technology, and we're going to go to the social media team for Gamecock Baseball. Come here.
Ooh, come here.
I don't think you know how this works. Yes, I do check Twitter for updates for scores, but when you are posting scores of games where we're losing, just post the score. I don't need any pithy comments. I don't need any commentary. Just post the score. I got hip to this last week as I was looking, and the Gamecocks were losing at the end of 3, 6-3, but they had a picture of a Gamecock pointing his hand as if they were winning. I was like, that's not, you're sending missed messages here. And then last night, they did it again at the final score was 13-3, and if you see a highlight of a Gamecock player, it's like, oh, that must have been a Gamecock win. No, it was a 13-3 loss. So when you lose, just put a pithy score. But last night is the one that made me get them on the line. Because last night, as we were losing to Charlotte, it said South Carolina baseball locked in a tight one after 6 innings. 9-8, Charlotte. That's not how this works. Don't post a cool graphic when we're losing.
Save it for the wins.
Save it for the wins. Gamecock baseball social media team, get on the line. I don't know if you know how this works because the Charlotte guys do know how this works because you know what they posted last night? Bag secured with the SEC capitalized.
Oh.
That's how you post the score.
Oh, that's savvy.
That's what you do.
I guarantee you that Charlotte had that in mind for any of the SEC games they played this year, and they had that.
That's been in their back pocket.
It's in the back pocket. Like, tonight's the night we get to use it.
Bag secured, SEC capitalized. That's how you do it. Social media team, you need some work.
Need some work. Another one. Anyone who wants to expand the NCAA tournament. Looking at you, Greg Sankey. Looking at you, Greg Sankey. Did you watch the mid-off we had last night between Texas and NC State? These are bad. They're bad. They're not good basketball teams. Were they expensive basketball teams? Absolutely. Expensive first-year head coaches? Absolutely. But if you saw that and said, you know what, we need more, or you saw, Oklahoma play at times this year, and you said they should have been in. Or you watched Auburn, you're like, man, their schedule was really tough. I know they only won one more game than they lost, but that schedule was so hard. So hard. If you think that needs to be included and rewarded after what we saw from the bubble this year, get on the line.
We don't need any more. We're good.
We're good.
It's a great product right now as is.
We're at capacity. Why complicate this thing even further? Don't need to. The SEC also got 10 out of 16 teams, and how many more do you want? How many more do you conferences want?
I referred to him last series. I'm going to get to him again. 0 hits, bad speech, came up empty in crunch time. Aaron Judge, get on the line.
Oh, that one's absolutely a must, especially after falling short again in the World Baseball Classic final. But coming up next, though, we will reset on our conversation about some impactful defensive freshmen. We'll also take your phone calls. Rocky and Ray will get to you coming up next.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Lexington Health has been named a meritorious hospital by the American College of Surgeons for achieving exceptional surgical patient outcomes. Find world-class surgical care close to home. Visit lexhealth.com to learn more.
Sponsored by KJ's Market. KJ's Market has grocery deals worth smiling about. This week, boneless chuck roast is just $6.99 per pound with digital coupon. Sign up for Smile and Save rewards to unlock extra deals. Price is valid until Tuesday, March 24th while supplies last.
Plus tax entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for detail. March is a race against time at JT's Jeep Ram. JT is selling every single Jeep regardless of profit or loss. Every credit application and offer accepted. JT's been challenged to sell 100 Jeeps, making deals the other dealers can't. New Jeeps up to $10,000 off. Grand Cherokees, Wranglers, Gladiators, even the all-new Jeep Cherokee with exclusive million-mile warranty. JT's Jeep Ram 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. Declaration of Deal Sales Event.
Hey, this is Terry Ford. Got a little story time for you. If you're a business or property owner and you're needing to deter any unwanted cars from parking in your parking lots, definitely call Schroeder's Towing. They'll provide signage for your business completely free of charge. Anytime a vehicle is parked in your lot that shouldn't be, Schroeder's Towing will be there to make sure your lot stays open for your employees, customers, and tenants. Trust me, I know firsthand what happens when you ignore Schroeder's Towing signage. Just go online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest
The Gant family with Pioneer Tree Service has been taking care of trees in Columbia and surrounding areas for over 48 years. Pioneer Tree Service provides tree and shrub removal, pruning and thinning, tree planting, cabling and bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding and removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, right-of-way maintenance, and more. They also provide 24-hour emergency tree removal. They can also handle the removal of diseased and dead trees before an emergency happens. Call them today for a free estimate. 803-794-8253. The Gant family and their team at Pioneer Tree Service can be trusted to provide professional and quality tree services with affordable pricing for residential or commercial jobs. Ashton Smith called Pioneer Tree Service and said they came when she was leaving for work, and when she got home, the tree was gone as if it was never there. She was so impressed with Pioneer Tree Service, she will definitely use them again. Here's one of the Gant girls, Madison Gant.
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
Want to unlock the power of athlete marketing to grow your business? Garnet Trust has recently launched a business membership program, making it easier than ever for your business to work directly with a USC student athlete. Visit garnettrust.com today or call 803-250-1765 to see your business move.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
We do have some heavy congestion on I-26 eastbound, starting at mile marker 101 down to about St. Andrews Road. Also heavy congestion I-20 eastbound between 26, of course, and Highway 21. So a few areas that usually are snarled continue to be so, but we don't have any accidents to report, so I guess that is certainly the positive. And actually, one just popped up. I-20 eastbound at Highway 1. See, I spoke too soon. I-20 eastbound at Highway 1, the right lane currently blocked. 53 is going to be our high today. 65 tomorrow, 74 on Friday.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell. Let's get it. And Jen Jensen. On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
The Early Game, third and long hour, starts right now. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Preston Thorne. He's fetching a pair of headphones so you don't see him on the TV right now or on the screen, because it's hard to do this thing without your headphones. She is Jen Jensen. Our man Thomas is in the video production room over at Studio 803, where we do the final hour of every single show. And here on the Early Game, third and long hour, we have a lot to get to. Talking Impact freshmen and spring practices. Also going to talk to our pal Lulu Kesson in the next segment to get another look at the South Carolina Gamecocks NCAA tournament draw as the 1 seed. And then we'll continue our series. Our Early Game third and long hour goes deep with the magic of March Madness with bracket luck. A lot to get into, but first we'll go to the AAA Heating and Air phone lines where our pal Ray has been waiting patiently. Good morning, Ray. Thanks for calling back into the Early Game.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, sure can. I can now.
Okay, great. Yeah, guys, just wanted to listen to you earlier. And, wow, I tell you, I think this is one spring season I'm going to kind of pay attention to, because we got a lot of players to replace. And I forgot how our defensive back looks now. So I hope some of those Porter guys or those young guys can step up. You know, it's kind of like next man up right here. So that's going to be a big challenge there as well. But I'd be a bit remiss if I didn't talk about the baseball game last night. Golly, guys, you know what I feel bad for is the vendors. They didn't have a good night last night, did they?
No, not a lot of people to sell to, unless you were getting high quantity with the people that came in. If they're buying a lot of stuff, maybe you're more encouraged to if the lines are shorter.
Well, from what I heard, the beer lines are very short, I tell you. So that was a plus. But I got to thinking about, our concessions last night, and I'm thinking between the four of us that we probably got enough change in our cars, maybe a couple dollar bills. We could probably cover the concessions from last night. Because, man, those poor vendors, man, I tell you, they took a beating last night. But, man, that's all I got to say. Thanks a lot.
Well, appreciate the call, Ray. Yeah, and I also appreciate your confidence in how many quarters and dollar bills I have.
Well, I think that's the bigger point that Ray's getting at is that, winning is good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's a windfall that happens when everything happens. When everything's popping, the vendors are working, the concession stand workers are working. The people that are staffing, you need more staffing, because now you're going to get into do we need to bring everybody in for this, or what's the case? So it's winning is better. We know that. And when you take a picture like that, it is damning evidence, concrete evidence of what the people are feeling towards and about the program.
It's genuinely a rising tide that will lift all boats financially, right? And that's why, when I saw the picture of the stadium and what it looked like during the game, I just said, bad for business. It's really bad for business. And the state of the program right now is bad for business. Yes, baseball is not considered a revenue-generating sport, but you can hurt yourself a lot if you're not having people show up to the games because the product isn't acceptable. And that's kind of where we're at right now. The product isn't acceptable. I don't know if I can blame anybody for not wanting to spend money to go to the games or anything like that. I can't blame you, right? That's the part we're at. It's a tough sell, and the only thing that can really improve it is winning. And that's really the only elixir here. And no matter what way you have to do it, you have to do it. No matter what dramatic change is necessary, is something you have to do to be able to just get people enthusiastic about the baseball team again.
Yeah, because the thing about baseball, I was joking yesterday, but I am serious about it, is that you can go to a baseball game, take in the environment, take in the fresh air, enjoy the music, enjoy the game. you don't necessarily, I mean, winning championships is awesome. Winning games is awesome. You want to see a team that's out there competing. You want to see a team that's out there that has a chance. But it's difficult to do all of that when you don't feel like the team is on the trajectory or even going in the right direction. And so I think that's what you see is, as I said on Monday, the apathy, invasive species is growing. It's taking over. And what it does is it chokes out all of those seats. It fills all of those seats with this invasive species of apathy, and it's hard to get anybody in there when that thing is there. So you got to cut it out now. And unfortunately, it's growing.
We go back to the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Our pal Rocky is on the line with us. Good morning, Rocky. Welcome back to the early game.
Good morning, guys. I reckon I got a couple of comments on the Gamecock baseball team, and I actually have a comment on the men's bracket, on the men's tournament. But first, a couple of songs for you. How about the Eagles' "Heartache Tonight"?
Ooh,
is one. And the second one would be Aerosmith and "Walk This Way." So those a couple of my tunes there. I looked at last year was the first losing season South Carolina baseball's had since 1996, and they were 28-29. I'm afraid, unless a few guys that I can think of just right off the top, unless they come walking through that door, this year is going to be probably a lot worse. Unfortunately, just looking at it that way. And I haven't delved into my bracket yet, Elijah and Preston yet, but I will tonight. And I'm not sure how the matchups work out in the Final Four, which regions will face each other in the semis. But looking at it, I think the Final Four would love, and this is going to be mostly chalk, if you got a rematch of Houston and Arizona, and you got a rematch of Michigan and Duke in the Final Four. And somehow, however that would match up, I mean, that would be a really good one, given Houston and Arizona played in the championship game of the Big 12. And so those are my thoughts there, guys.
Yeah.
So,
appreciate you as always, Rocky.
Have a good morning.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for the call, Rocky. And when it comes to that bracket, I think we have three teams that are just kind of better than everybody else. And I think two of those three get into the Final Four. And I wouldn't be upset with any of those two matchups that Rocky mentioned in terms of being a national title game between Houston and Arizona, because they've played two really good games already. Arizona got the better of them, both of them. But a third one of those for a national title would be really cool, especially considering how good the Big 12 championship game was, even though it looked like Arizona was going to run away with it for a little bit. Houston made a pretty furious comeback and made it pretty competitive. Duke, Michigan would be awesome. Because I think for the most part of the year, those were the two best teams, and then there's Arizona. But if you get any of the combos of those four teams, I think you're in really good shape in terms of how exciting and fun the national championship would be between all of those, those programs. But going back to the football team, spring practice is already underway. We've been practicing a little bit. The coaches have gotten to be able to look at their players, especially some of the new guys, right? And you get a good idea of where the starting point is. And I think the starting point is valuable information. Now, the starting point isn't going to be what they're going to be in the fall. I mean, I'm sure you've gone through some spring practices where some guys looked like they were ahead of others, but over the course of a summer, over the course of maybe like getting a little bit stronger, gaining the weight or losing the weight needed to be able to play, and just understanding assignments in the playbook and everything of that nature that might keep you from playing if we were actually, hosting games and playing them in March and April, makes it a lot different by the time we actually get to playing games in August. The starting point's important. It's not the end-all, be-all, but the starting point for a lot of players, especially newcomers and freshmen, it's mightily important to be able to give or paint an accurate picture of where they're at.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal this phrase from Clayton White earlier, because he said, you can start at A, B, C, or are you starting at D, E, F? And the way I interpreted that is, some players in the spring are starting at the very beginning. It's either their first spring or they are, they were on the scout team last year. They haven't really practiced with the quote-unquote team. They're starting very early. Then you have other players who are more further advanced, say like Peyton Williams, We know he can do the physical traits. We know he can play. We're not starting with ABCs with him because he knows those things. But now we have to get to the second level that's going to make him successful, DEF, where he's communicating, where he's calling defenses, where he's stepping up and being a leader. And so that gives everybody something to work on during the spring. If you're not working on your basic, your footsteps, your drills and all that, there'll be some players who are working on various things. Now, what's interesting to me is Lenoris Sellers working at ABC or is he working at DEF?
Ooh.
Because he kind of has two different things going on. He's played a lot of football, but he hasn't played a lot of this football.
Different offense.
Different
scheme.
All of that. So where do you think Lenoris is right now?
I think he's at least at DEF.
Okay.
Right? Then the rest of the alphabet can kind of come later. Because I think he's got a lot of the basics of, it's a different offense, sure, but I'm sure there's some, a lot of the principles in terms of getting set, calling out the play, the verbiage. They're probably going to try to keep something similar to where it's not a drastic learning curve. Because, Kendall Briles said earlier this week, he just doesn't want him to have to think too much. So I think maybe catering things like verbiage and play calls in terms of cadence and things like that, kind of staying a little similar. But I don't think it's further along down the alphabet because there are more elements of this offense needed to be able to learn.
And to be clear about that, for Lenoris, it's not sometimes when you hear coaches say that we don't want him to think too much, it's because they're trying to bring the game smaller for him because they can't necessarily do all those things at those same times. We understand that Lenoris has the executive function to do it. He can think that much.
Certainly.
It's just that at his best, he knows the game plan. He's able to play with the rhythm of the flow, and the coach does a job of getting him the things that he needs at the time that he needs them and not making him think about all of these other things that are not necessarily important to his job. So you would probably like Lenoris and going to his fourth spring now, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Going into his fourth spring. You probably would like him to be further along where, honestly, what you would love for Lenoris to be in this situation this spring is him not taking very many reps. That's what you would love to have. He's there. He's kind of at practice, but he doesn't need to really work on a lot of things. Unfortunately, because of the setback that we had last year, he's not at that point now.
And I think when it comes to, we all know that Lenoris has, the cognitive ability to be able to play with a lot on his plate. I think he just works better in improvisation, right? He is a really good improviser when it comes to something breaking down on a football field or being really reactionary, right? Some guys aren't very good at that. Some guys are stick to the plan. This is my first read. This is my second read. This is my third read. This is my check down. I'll throw the ball away if I have none of them. Lenoris is really good that when a play breaks down and something has to happen on the spot, doing that. And I think that's where he's maybe a little further along because he at least has that superpower or that tool in his tool belt to be able to use.
And what it felt like last year is when that moment came, he was trying to revert. He was trying to think about his coaching, and I think his coaching was telling him, stay a little bit longer, make one more read, make one more throw. And I think Kendall is telling him, when that time comes, go.
Bail and go pick up a first down.
Right.
And we'll bail from this segment right here, too, because coming up next, our pal Lulu Kesson from the Greenville News is going to join us and be able to preview the first weekend of the NCAA tournament for South Carolina and get her thoughts on what Carolina's draw was in this bracket. We'll talk to our pal Lulu coming up next.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
It's Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. Have utilized their services a few times when we had to gut the kitchen and totally redo it. They were so super helpful with us. They got us the photorealistic rendering of the finished kitchen before it was finished. that helped not only psychologically to be able to look forward to something, but also we could take that picture to finish out the other elements in the kitchen. But it was such a great experience that we utilized them again for a couple of bathrooms when we needed cabinetry for that as well. And they stand by their stuff because we actually had a little problem with the hinge. No big deal. They were right on it, took care of it, no questions asked. And every step of the process through the installation, everything was absolutely flawless. If you are looking to make some updates in your home, do reach out to Carolina to chwcabinetry.com or call them 803-520-6837. Tell them Jen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Do you have sagging, soft, or bouncy floors in your home? Well, this could be a sign of rotten wood caused by moisture in your crawl space. Damaged wood in your crawl space can affect your home's foundation, and that can affect your home's value, and nobody wants that. Say goodbye to sagging floors and hello to a stable foundation. Contact Canty today for your free inspection at 803-424-8380 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Plus tax, tags, and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. March is a race against time at JT's Jeep Ram. JT is selling every single Ram regardless of profit or loss. Every credit application and offer accepted. JT's been challenged to sell 150 Rams, making deals the other dealers can't. New Rams, light duty, heavy duty, up to $15,000 off with 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. JT's Jeep Ram, 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. Ram Truck Month.
Some things are meant to be together. Perfect pairs. The combos we all know and love. Like beaches and sand in your toes. A good book and the park. Or sleepy mornings and Mickey D's. It's undeniable. My personal favorite pair to help me start the day? The toasty $2.69 sausage McMuffin with egg paired with a $2 any size iced coffee. With 20 grams of protein in one sandwich and bold coffee to power my day, there's no doubt I'd call it the perfect McDonald's match. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Are you a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system? AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA Heating and Air now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling 803-677-1500 for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell them Jay Phillips with 1075 sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Bill Gunner here for Corley Pool Solutions. Pool season is upon us. That's right. It's time to make sure your pool is maintained and ready to use. And you know who is the absolute best in the Midlands? Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions. With their flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals, you know exactly what you are paying for. So if you're tired of maintaining your pool by yourself, call the pros. Call Corley Pool Solutions. 803-445-8109. Line up your maintenance today.
Hey guys, Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central here to make sure your business and property parking lots are kept available from any unwanted cars taking up your spots with Schroeder's Towing. For instance, you're coming in hot to the game studios for your show and you park next door in an unauthorized lot with signage that was provided for free from Schroeder's Towing. Next thing you know, the show is in the books and your car is out of the lot. It really is that simple. That's a true story. Call Schroeder's today and keep those unwanted cars out of your lots. Online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
I-20 eastbound at Highway 1, the right lane is blocked. So if you're on I-20 eastbound around exit 58, you're going to want to stay left. We do have some slow-going traffic, I-26 eastbound from about mile marker 101 to about I-20. And 53 is the high we're going to try to get to today. Another overnight low that'll be chilly, 32. But your Thursday, 65, 74 on Friday. And, of course, as we mentioned, low 80s for this weekend. Right now, though, still kind of chilly, 33.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 1075 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Joined here in just a second by our pal Lulu Kesson. But first, a reminder that you can still help us out with our goal to raise some money for the American Heart Association. For the American Heart Association Heart Walk, which is going to be March 28th. That's going to be at Segra Park. Going to be a really fun afternoon. Should be a beautiful day. I haven't looked at the weather forecast, actually. I'm banking on it being a beautiful day.
Wrong jacket weather.
It is. It
remember
is
that.
wrong jacket weather.
Just remember.
It is.
Whatever jacket you pull out, it will be wrong. You'll be freezing or you'll be sweating to death. One of the two.
One of the two. But bring the dogs, bring the kids. Enjoy the American Heart Walk Association, or the American Heart Association Heart Walk. I can't read, man. And help us raise our fundraiser money by going to 1075thegame.com, because we have a link there where you can sign up to donate for the 1075 The Game team. And then, of course, at the Heart Walk 2, learn CPR in less than 90 seconds. Very quick, very important skill to learn.
Talk about bags. You need to have that in your bag.
Yes. Talk about Beck's music discography bag and how wide that is. That's one in the life bag.
Yeah, you need that.
That would certainly be helpful to be able to get. But for the women's team, NCAA tournament, the first round is going to be this weekend. Now, last year I think they played on the Friday and the Sunday. It is going to be a little different this year because they're going to be playing on Saturday and Monday. I don't know why I had to think so hard about that. My brain just malfunctioned. But they're going to get the winner of Southern and Samford. Should be a breeze. And then in the second round, that's where things get juicy, Preston Thorne. You'll get the winner of Clemson or Southern Cal. And no matter who wins that game, it is a storyline one way or the other.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about all week, is how the narratives set up very well for South Carolina as they're playing. Would love to knock Clemson out. Would love to get rid of our rival in a tournament game when the stakes are a little bit higher for them. Obviously, it's an opportunity. And for USC, it's the USC versus the other USC, depending on who says what, where. I commend both schools for trying to make this into a thing. Unfortunately, Juju got hurt for USC, so that wasn't a thing. Maybe next year during the regular season, if she's back and she's back healthy, it will be a game that must see TV. But moving forward, moving them out of that, we don't foresee any issues early. And that's kind of how the women's tournament is. The women's tournament gets more fun as you get closer to the end. When the teams advance via the games, they don't kind of follows chalk, and at the end you have all the big dogs sitting there waiting to play each other in the Elite Eight, et cetera, et cetera. The men's tournament is a lot of fun at the beginning, and then maybe sometimes, especially like last year, if it gets to be all chalk at the end, it's not as fun.
You get the mega matchups.
Yeah, and that's cool. And again, it's a pick what you like. But for the women's tournament, everything builds towards those final 2 weekends, and it's a lot of fun, and obviously we expect to be there.
Now, how fun would it be to get Clemson in an NCAA tournament game?
That's the thing. Getting them up out of here, we can obviously claim it. We've obviously dominated them for a long time, but when the stakes are a little bit higher, it's going to be a lot more fun, and I think they've sort of conceded that anyway.
And then, of course, like we've mentioned it throughout the week too. As we're waiting for Lulu to check in here, the bracket that they have is ripe for vengeance and also ripe for storylines. So you got Oklahoma as the 4. Now, do they get there? I don't know, because I think Michigan State is really solid, and that's who you'd presumably be playing in the second round. But getting a chance to get another crack at Oklahoma would be fun, and to avenge that one loss, because you didn't get a chance at redemption in the SEC tournament. You have a chance to do it here. And then, of course, if things hold chalk again, which happens more so in the women's tournament, getting Iowa in the Elite Eight would be incredibly juicy. And we've shared our thoughts on this bracket, but what are Lulu's thoughts? Lulu Kesson from the Greenville News joins us right now. Good morning, Lulu. Appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. Sorry about the technical difficulties on my end there.
Oh, no, it's fine. Technology, I've been raging against the machine for years now. And Lulu, when you look at this bracket, when it came out on Sunday, what are the main things that stood out? Preston and I were just talking about how much the storylines are going to really fuel this part of the bracket. But just from a basketball standpoint, what was kind of your initial evaluation of South Carolina's draw?
I think overall, I have a hard time saying, one specific bracket is easier than the other, but I do think South Carolina has a really great opportunity with Oklahoma in their bracket, because obviously that's not something you always see with two SEC or two in-conference teams. But I think a lot of South Carolina fans, honestly, since the game ended January 22nd, wanted a rematch. And I think that South Carolina potentially getting that as their Sweet 16 game would be good for a team that wants to prove that loss was a fluke and that it was more them than Oklahoma. But like I heard you talking about, like the potential with an Iowa Elite Eight is really interesting, but also just from a basketball perspective, if it's, TCU and Iowa battling for that Elite Eight spot, that's also going to be interesting too, because those are two teams South Carolina doesn't know a ton about.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of leads me to this question too. The one team that South Carolina wouldn't want to face in this region would be?
Ooh, honestly, I think TCU is a tricky one, because when you have a guard like Olivia Miles, that's so unstoppable individually, but also is really good at creating. TCU is a team that would stretch South Carolina thin, that would challenge all five type of players. But I think Iowa, there would be a little bit more of, I guess I should say, matchups that work well, that maybe wouldn't be so much pressure on individual performances.
All right, Lulu, you know what time it is. You're here. We got you to talk about this bracket. Let's play a little bit of Lulu or Delulu. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Lulu or Delulu. Women's bracket, chalk. All four number one seeds make it to the Final Four. Lulu or Delulu?
I think that's Lulu. I think that's my pick. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's like a clear upper crust of when it comes to women's college basketball. I think those 4-1 seeds are clearly head and shoulders above everybody else, and I think it's been pretty well proven. I certainly agree with that. Lulu or Delulu? South Carolina makes the Final Four and wins every game by double figures.
Ooh. I think Lulu in the sense that they'll make it to the Final Four, Delulu in the sense of winning by double figures. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a single-digit win in there at some point, just given how competitive teams are in March.
All right.
All right. Lulu or Delulu? UCLA got screwed with their bracket. Lulu or Delulu?
I'm going to go... I'm going to go Delulu only because I do think it's obviously a difficult bracket, but at the same time, UCLA on paper is one of honestly, the most impressive team to me, and so I have a hard time saying a team sort of got screwed when they have such a good track record of beating just about everyone, and so it's hard to look at them and assume that there's any weakness there or think that, in some ways it's set up against them. But I understand that it might look a little bit more difficult than another bracket.
Lulu or Delulu? The one team outside the top 4 seeds that's the most dangerous in this thing is Notre Dame.
Ooh, Delulu. I have Notre Dame losing in the first round to Fairfield.
Let's see.
Whoa. Okay, let's stay here. Now, the women's tournament is normally, you don't see very many upsets. Why do you pick this one as an upset so early?
I'm high on Fairfield because I think they're a really well-oiled machine and a really, really great coach team. And the reason why I'm down on Notre Dame is because I think when you have a year that depends so heavily on one individual, it's really hard to get through March. And I think that this Notre Dame team is, I don't want to say in a rebuilding year, but lost some really key pieces and didn't really build, the roster back up. I think Hannah Hidalgo is sensational, but I don't necessarily see, based on the way Notre Dame has lost games this year, I haven't seen them fully win together in a way that makes me believe there's a long run they can string together in this tournament. But as every take I have, I will happily be proven wrong if Notre Dame, sort of figures it out. But I worry about, how much Hannah Hidalgo is able to do it as an individual because, she leads the team in 3 of 4 major categories, and that's hard to sustain in March.
Fantastic stuff. That is Lulu Kesson of the Greenville News, not just from the world-renowned game of Lulu or Delulu. Lulu, appreciate your time as always, and looking forward to seeing you at CLA this weekend.
Sure thing. Thank you, guys. Happy March Madness. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate you.
I love the Happy March Madness because this is a holiday for
That's
folks
correct.
like us. This is a month-long holiday for hoop heads like Lulu and myself. But coming up next, we'll continue our discussion. Third and Long goes deep, where we're going to talk about bracket luck and the element of it. How important is it? We'll discuss next.
100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
It's that time again. Friday, April 3rd, the Spring Golf Classic at Charwood in West Columbia with our buddies Rock and Daniel Lucas. Once again, $400 for a team. And we have Saki's Morning Libations Bar before tee-off. Also, the classic onion sausage. Once again, presented by the Lexington Gamecock Club. Yeah, I know you're going to ask. We have the golf gun. Yes, we do. All that Friday, April 3rd. Again, $400 a team, $100 for an individual. Very simple. Write down this phone number, 803-755-2000, and press number 2 for our buddies at Charwood. Again, 803-555-2000, press 2. April 3rd, it's the Spring Golf Classic from the Game.
Cato's Power Equipment. Cato's Power Equipment has been family-owned and serving the Midlands since 1983. That's over 40 years. And third generation owner Ben Cato provides top-notch service, great deals, and the mom-and-pop values that you love. Ben is determined to raise the standard of sales, service, and retail. And they are proud to offer a wide selection of new and pre-owned mowers, tractors, and more. So if you're ready to invest in something new, the friendly team is there to make the process easy, help you choose the right equipment, find financing options, and keep your gear running strong with expert service and parts. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned landscaping pro, Cato's has you covered. So swing by Cato's Power Equipment today or call them at 803-254-3711. That's Cato's Power Equipment at 803-254-3711.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's new Luxe Value menu has 10 lavish indulgences, all $3 or less. It's easy to get carried away. Like when you try the new mini taco salad, you might ask, do I need a salad fork? The fork in the bag's fine. Luxe Value menu at participating locations while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Taking care of your car has never been easier. Hi, I'm Brandon at Wetzel's Automotive. We provide top-notch maintenance services from fluid checks to engine diagnostics, ensuring your vehicle stays reliable and efficient. Every service includes a complimentary 28-point inspection to give you peace of mind. Drive confidently knowing your car is in expert hands. Visit us at 2017 Augusta Road in West Columbia or online at wetzelsauto.com.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Don't you love being treated special when you shop and saving money? That just makes it even better. At Gamecock Traditions, they've got more ways to save on all your Gamecock gear. Sign up for their emails and get the news and deals first. Show your Gamecock Club card, your Alumni Association card, or your faculty ID and score a discount on Gamecock merchandise. Military, you save. Is it your birthday? You save. And don't forget their loyalty program. Earn cash back on every purchase and it never expires. That's the Gamecock Traditions way. Lexington, Sandhills Village, or online at GamecockTraditions.com. Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
20 eastbound at exit 58. That would be Highway 1. The right lane continues to be blocked due to an earlier accident. 53 will be our high today. Another colder morning, overnight low of 32. But then it starts warming up, 65 tomorrow. As we mentioned, we'll have sunshine and 74 on Friday. And lots of sunshine this weekend. And highs in the low 80s. 34 currently on 107.5 The Game.
Early game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Yes.
Floor here. Dillingham across midcourt. Dillingham with it. 5 to get off a shot. William on the drive. Pull up, pop! Got it! She got it! She got it! One of the great upsets in history. Mississippi State in overtime at the buzzer.
You heard was Morgan William from Mississippi State hitting a 15-foot jumper as time expired to beat previously undefeated UConn, going in that game 36-0. Why was that game significant? Why are we talking about that? Because earlier that night, South Carolina beat Stanford by 9 points to punch their ticket to the national title game and didn't have to face an undefeated UConn team. Instead, played a conference foe for all of the marbles.
Shout out to Vic.
Shout out to Vic for pulling that off.
Appreciate you. That's why we always got love in our hearts for you.
That's right, for helping out a little bit. Now, could South Carolina beat that UConn team? Absolutely. But I think what that is an example of is the element of bracket luck. And here in the third long hour goes deep, part 3 of our March Magic series. Bracket luck is maybe one of the more underrated elements of making a run in the NCAA tournament. That is an ideal example, right? Because going into that tournament, I remember it's UConn or the field again. Mm-hmm. Can anybody take down UConn? And you know, I guarantee you, all Gamecock fans, players on that team, coaching staff, saw that result and immediately felt a lot better.
Yeah, because it's not that you don't think you can beat UConn. It's not that you don't want to see UConn, because obviously we're in the Final Four. We'll play whoever. We get that. But they're probably was a sense of, oh, this can really happen now. We are that much closer to winning the championship because they got eliminated. Like I said, I'm sure Dawn sent Vic a Christmas card. Like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we really appreciate your service.
Yeah, and that snapped a long winning streak.
Yeah, I think it was like I want to say 100 games. That sounds ridiculous, but I think it was like 111 games.
They've
I
had,
could
like-
be very wrong about
They've had
that.
like multiple of those streaks.
Yeah, that's the
wild
thing, right? And so this was at the top of when UConn is the behemoth. There's nobody beating this team. And sort of shout out to Mississippi State. They go in there, and it's one of those games where UConn starts to, at some point, they're saying, oh, no, they are not backing down. They're not going to fold. We're not going to be able to pull this out. It goes to the overtime, and they win. And that has to happen throughout a bracket. You have some other examples listed where because one team wins, a butterfly flaps his wings in on the first weekend, and all of a sudden somebody's bracket path gets a little bit easier, a little bit different. I won't say easier, but it's a little bit of a different path.
Like, for example, one of the cooler Final Four runs that we've seen on the men's side was Florida Atlantic getting to the Final Four. They might not get to the Final Four if it wasn't for Fairleigh Dickinson beating Purdue as a 16 seed over a 1, because that is who they would have played next, right? Florida Atlantic, obviously a really good team. That was a team with 5 or 6 guys that end up going to or transferring to Power 5 basketball conferences. We'll include the Big East in there, that end up transferring to those leagues and playing high-level college ball. A couple of those guys in the NBA right now. I know Vlad Golden's playing for the Miami Heat. Elijah Martin's playing for the Toronto Raptors. Some high-level dudes that were on that team, so they could have beaten Purdue. But the fact of the matter is they didn't have to. We'll never know. We'll never find out because it never got to that point, because Fairleigh Dickinson pulled off one of the greatest upsets in the history of the NCAA tournament. One of the things that gave us one of the best stories in the history of the men's tournament, too, is Coach K getting beat by North Carolina in his final game in the Final Four.
So sweet.
I mean, that was one of the most memorable college basketball games of my lifetime. We might not get that if St. Peter's doesn't pull off a win against Kentucky. And then if they don't pull off a win against Purdue. Because then it's St. Peter's who North Carolina had to face in that Final Four to get to playing Duke, right? It took a lot to be able to get to that point. That bracket luck helped North Carolina get out of that side of the bracket in a regular season where they really underachieved. Now, they got hot late, but really underachieved for a large part of that regular season. Helps out a whole lot to continue your hot streak when you do get a little bit of luck down the road.
Here's another piece of bracket luck, and we can even stay with the Gamecocks, and we can even stay in 2017. The Gamecocks beat Duke early, so I'm sure somebody's looking at that bracket and saying, ooh, I would prefer to play South Carolina. That's what Florida was probably thinking. Well, not so fast, my friend. You beat Florida. But then, and it kind of comes out, it leaks out that Sindarius is like dehydrated.
Under the
is
weather.
He sick? Is he under the weather? And so Gonzaga ends up winning, close game.
They had to fight him off.
But you can't help but think like, maybe if our star player was 100% at capacity, do they win their game? It's not an excuse. You're not saying whatever. But I'm sure that those men on that team, and Frank Martin, sometimes when he puts his head on his pillow at night, it's like, man, what if? You have to think that. And it kind of trickles throughout the rest of the – because what if South Carolina wins that game and now you have a red-hot South Carolina going against North Carolina in that finals? Who knows what happens? And that's the magic of all of this.
Oh, yeah, and how much has to go right for you
for a month in a row, and that's why this is cool. A month of things have to go right.
Yeah.
In which a lot can go wrong, as you just saw with Alabama for 18 to 22-year-olds. A month is an eternity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for everything to go right for a month really makes all of these runs special.
Yeah, and especially when your margin for error is eliminated. Again, you cannot lose. Your next loss indicates the end of your season, and only one team gets to cut down the nets, right? And that's one of those things, too, that I think it was Chris Beard after Ole Miss got beat in the SEC tournament. He goes to the press conference and he says, just got done having to have the toughest conversation I'm going to have with my team all year long, but it's one that I have to do every year, and the only time you don't do it is if you're the one team that wins your last game of the season.
Right.
And again, only one team gets to do that, and there's so much that goes into that happening. We have 1 minute left. We'll get to Hank really quick on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines because he wants to put somebody on the line, so we'll take a submission. Good morning, Hank.
Hey, good morning. Hey, one I wanted to put on the line that's going to be funny for y'all, too, is you were talking about the opportunity of Carolina playing Clemson in the second round of the girls' tournament. And, you know, Clemson hasn't been in the tournament for a while, so when they made the tournament, you got reporters that are interviewing different people. And you had the one little girl talking about, oh, yeah, we get a chance to play South Carolina. That'd be our get that game because we weren't playing as well as we're playing now. And her teammate is standing next to her looking at her like, what are you saying?
That's a great one. That's remarkable.
So you gotta get the media person that pulls them aside like, all right, this is what you say and what you don't say.
PR director, get on the line. Yeah, that's too far.
They tried. I'm sure they tried, but to no avail. She starts talking, and you can't stop her. You can't stop her. She's going. She keeps going. Oh, that was funny. Another reason why I really want that game to end up happening. That game would be a winner. We'll give you our winners for today's show coming up next.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The March for Arch is officially on. The Dolphins dumped Tua, traded Waddle, signed Malik Willis. The Cardinals cut Kyler Murray and handed the keys to Jacoby Brissett and the Jets. Geno Smith? Really? They're all racing to the bottom for Arch Manning in the 2027 draft. Tanking in the NBA? Welcome to tanking in the NFL before the season even starts. I'm John Lund.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats, looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is time for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
This is the highlight of my morning. Hey, what's up? It's Island.
And I'm Josh.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit is that it's our go-to morning comfort.
And you've got that nice golden fluffy egg.
With a soft, flaky biscuit.
Crispy bacon.
Melty cheese.
You want something quick, you want something convenient, but most of all, you want something good.
There's no better way to start your morning.
There we go.
Start off the morning with a Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit with Simply Orange Juice. Order on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The early game starts with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
It's more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners. Winners.
And every day, we fulfill Coach Singletary's request. 4 winners from today's show brought to you by the Golden Spur. Before we give out our winners, we have an opportunity to make you a winner because we do have 2 family 4-pack tickets to Friday night's game against Arkansas over at Founders Park. Always a great time to go to the ballpark, no matter the result.
Listen,
time
man,
to spend outside.
Get outside, get out of the house, enjoy the evening with your family. It isn't always an opportunity. It's always a fun time at the ballpark, regardless of what the results may or may not be.
Because getting outside and getting some fresh air is a winner.
Always, for sure, especially now.
So 803.
Get outside, get some fresh air, come to the game.
Yes. 803-404-6100. Callers 3 and 4 will be our ticket winners. So you can be a winner just by listening to the winner segment. There's so many winners. Brought to you by the Golden Spur. But I want to get my first one, Beck.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a deep dive today.
I mean,
I will come back weirder tomorrow for sure.
You will. Weirder and maybe a little, like, I don't know, emotionally spent.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a wide variety. You talk about a guy with a very deep discography that is very diverse. Beck is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Underappreciated.
For sure. You think about longevity and how long you've been around. That's what you are as an artist. You have to be able to. He's not as if he's adapting with the times. He just changes when he wants to. And that's the true essence of an artist.
Yeah.
He doesn't wait for the times to tell him to change. He just does different things. And I think that's really, really admirable. I said it before. I'll say it again. I appreciate and admire people who are who they're supposed to have been. Bryce Harper was anointed as the savior of baseball. He's supposed to be this young phenom that's going to come in. We've been hearing about this young person since he was 16 years old. And he has been nothing but phenomenal the whole time. And just the ability to withstand that, I think, it's only a very small group of people. LeBron, Serena, Bryce, Tiger. There's like a couple of people who have supposed to be that, and they are that. And I think that's phenomenal.
And he's been doing it for a while, too. It's not like, he just had a couple of good years. Guy's still doing it. And he's got a very long career, and I don't think he's slowing down anytime soon. Doesn't even feel like he's been in the league as long as he actually has, which is a good sign that your career's going pretty well. Another winner for today, playlist, specifically comfort playlist, because we did our Gamecock baseball playlist to kind of sum up the season that is so far. And you know what? If you ain't winning games, at least you can listen to some banger tunes.
Yeah, y'all brought it as usual. Some good songs that I will go back and check out. The ones that I know I will listen to. Those that I don't know I will be listen to so that I can get familiar with the joke that you were making. So as usual, whenever we call, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yes.
Here's a peek behind the fourth wall. When we pull out the playlist, it's desperate.
We need you.
We need you. We need you. And obviously, with the loss last night, we needed to bring some joy and levity to the situation, because while we're all disappointed in the situation, there's no point in walking around being mad because there's levity in anything.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Music is a great avenue to do that. Another winner that I have, we didn't get to mention it in the show today because we're not a big NHL show, the Buffalo Sabres. They've won 10 of their last 11 since coming back from the Olympic break. Why is that significant? Because Preston Thorne, the last time they made the playoffs, I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow, okay.
That was 2011.
Again, with Preston, there's a window between 1994 and 1996 where I can name you a lot of players. Alexander Mogilny.
Oh, man. He played deep in the 2000s, too. Long career.
Hockey dudes do that. That's always strange. Like, he's still playing?
A sport as violent as that, it's not a not for long thing. Like if you are just good, not even great, if you're just good, you'll play in the league for 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Grant Fuhr.
Grant Fuhr, great. Great pull.
Uh-oh. I feel myself devolving into guys naming dudes. It's happening. It's happening.
It's the most fun game. Guys naming dudes. Or again, my favorite road trip game, the name game. You can kill hours. Hours just being guys naming dudes.
Shout out to the Sabres.
But the Sabres are first in their division, and they are in line to make the playoffs again for the first time in 15 years, breaking one of the longest droughts in pro sports.
Winner, Howard University.
Ah, yes, first ever win.
First ever win, NCAA win, and maybe one of the few teams to have a team in both brackets. I haven't checked this. I need to look, but there aren't many. They are in a very fine company of teams that have both the men and women's team in the brackets.
Especially from one-bid leagues, that is certainly the case. There are not many teams from the one-bid leagues. Miami, Ohio, has a team in the women's bracket too. And in terms of the power conferences, you see a lot more crossover, like Duke, obviously, Iowa, obviously, Clemson is on that list of getting in both men's.
But for the
and
one bid
tournament.
leagues, that's an accomplishment.
But for the one bid leagues, I think Howard is in a class with High Point and Miami of Ohio. So not bad. Now let's see if they can get a win in both of them too, because they're already halfway there. Tyler Head and Jack Belcher, they're winners of the extra point, and they are next.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
All right, guys, it's March. The magic is here, but you're not necessarily feeling it because you feel like you lost your edge. Maybe brain fog has you struggling. Are you working out and not getting the results that you used to? Well, there's a reason why you're not feeling like yourself, and it might be low testosterone. But you don't just have to live with